Back to where it all started. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Reno, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm U Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC, by PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18, and by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, by T&D Transportation, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm U Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities, Ballard versus the Big C, and Make-A-Wish Utah. The 2023 SYC Reno. Now, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, this is the 2023 SYC Reno. Back to where it all started. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Reno, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm U Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC, by PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18, and by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, by T&D Transportation, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm U Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities, Ballard versus the Big C, and Make-A-Wish Utah. The 2023 SYC Reno. Now, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, this is the 2023 SYC Reno. Back to where it all started. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Reno, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm U Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC, by PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18, and by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, by T&D Transportation, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm U Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities, Ballard versus the Big C, and Make-A-Wish Utah. The 2023 SYC Reno. Now, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, this is the 2023 SYC Reno. Back to where it all started. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Reno, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm U Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC, by PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18, and by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, by T&D Transportation, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm U Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities, Ballard versus the Big C, and Make-A-Wish Utah. The 2023 SYC Reno. Now, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, this is the 2023 SYC Reno. Back to where it all started. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Reno, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm U Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC, by PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18, and by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, by T&D Transportation, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm U Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities, Ballard versus the Big C, and Make-A-Wish Utah. The 2023 SYC Reno. Now, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, this is the 2023 SYC Reno. Back to where it all started. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Reno, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm U Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, by T&D Transportation, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm U Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities, Ballard versus the Big C, and Make-A-Wish Utah. The 2023 SYC Reno. Now, live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, this is the 2023 SYC Reno. Back to where.
All right, welcome everyone. Good morning to all of our. Good morning to all of our fans out in Storm Nation watching. We are live at the SYC Reno. We're going back to where it all started. I'm Blair Blumenscheid, and this is our friend George Aboud, Storm staffer. George, you were here in 2017, right?
Yes, we were. Justin bowled his first one.
That's awesome.
My son, Justin.
Yes, yeah. So now Justin's off at St. Ambrose.
Yes.
He's a senior. Which makes me feel old.
That makes me feel older, yes.
Yeah. But now we're back, and we're here. We're watching some new SYC athletes. There's a lot of new bowlers in the field this weekend, and then we also have some returning champions. We announced them all this morning. There's a great group of bowlers out here competing, and they're off on the short pattern, which is 36 in length and 25 mils of volume, and it's a little flat.
Yes, looks very challenging. I'm glad I'm up here and not down there.
I say that often on the short pattern. Yeah, so they have 5 games this morning. Now you are here this weekend because you and your wife have started a new business, correct?
Yes. We started doing some sublimation of some tumblers, keychains, ornaments, things like that. Just
yeah, I have my Bosa cup in the chat today.
Yes, we do.
Awesome.
We do some custom work. If you have an image that you'd like to see on a tumbler, let everyone know that it's your tumbler when you're bowling and tournaments, and there's hundreds of people.
Yes.
Makes it easier and nice.
Yeah. So the bowlers we're watching. I apologize currently because we have A, B, C, D on the scoring system. So if your bowler does not have a name shirt on, I'm not sure we'll know him right now. We're getting a sheet. It's coming our way. But I do know we're watching Riley McGee, Alex McNabb, Oliver Louie, Theodore Long, and Kyler Kurtik. I'm going to butcher some names today. I apologize in advance. But those are some of the bowlers we're watching on our main pair, which is 39 and 40. Of course, you can see off to the left on 37 and 38, 41 and 42. We can see a lot of bowlers today, actually.
Kyler with a nice strike up the
It was nice.
lane 40. And by default, we'll be able to find out most of the names because 4 of them have shirts.
Yes. This is when the I Am Bowling SYC jerseys come in handy.
Exactly.
Bowlers.
Alex with a good spare, which will be very important today, I do believe.
Spares are very important. As our friend Del Ballard always says, spares win tournaments.
Yes, a very smart man.
Now, what was interesting, Leanne was up here. We were I did not watch much of practice. I wasn't checking, but when we were watching practice, a lot of the bowlers were choosing not to play up the gutter, which I was like, okay, do they must know something I don't. So we'll see how many are playing to the right. A few of them are already trying to jump in game 1.
Yeah. I think what gets tricky is their definition of the gutter sometimes is they want to send it to the gutter.
Yeah.
And that does not work a lot of times on tougher patterns. Up the lane and up the gutter is a better option.
True that.
Lefty strike right there.
Our friend Kobe McGee says that he appreciates the coverage, but it's super low quality video. Well, Kobe, I apologize, but you get to watch it for free. So we'll we do our best to bring you some coverage of the events that we go to, but we offer it for free.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Most of the time when you see this, the quality is good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, so I'll check it later. But it was working good for me this morning. I don't know. I'll
I know Regina is back there, decided to watch as well. So
yeah.
watching practice yesterday, it was interesting to see a lot of obviously there's different styles with one-handed versus two-handed and the no-thumb players, but it was very interesting to see the variety of them, the different swings, how they're holding the ball, how they're releasing it.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like you said, the two-handed style's been around so long that now they're starting to all have different styles of the style, right?
Yes.
It's not just, they've watched Jason or they've watched Jesper or Simo or some of the others. Now there's so many different ways that you can do it. It's pretty interesting. The one thing I think we talk about a lot too is, and this goes back to all the great coaches out there, but the foundation at the foul line is just impressive. Like, you do not see very many of these youth bowlers falling off their shots.
No.
Balance is being taught, and you see it.
It's super important across all facets of bowling. The ladies, the guys, the seniors, the youth players. The better ones, you could try to push them over at the line, and you're probably not going to be very successful.
Right?
Good balance. Balance creates carry.
It does. Now, you're a pretty darn good bowler yourself, George.
I'm okay.
So what are we? Where are we headed next? Any senior tour events?
I've been having a toe issue,
so
I'm kind of on the fence or on the shelf right now to see. I missed the Tony Reyes Terry Leong doubles event. I really couldn't commit to a partner, and with not knowing exactly what was going to happen.
Sure.
So after this trip, I get to see the doctor and we find out what's going on. But hoping the Ron Moore Senior Shootout is possibly on the schedule.
Yeah, that's a great event.
It's kind of up in the air now, so I'll have to see what's going to happen. What the doctor says. It's been a long issue and only recently started to bother me more.
Oh no. Well, I hope it's not something serious that needs a longer recovery.
Yeah, the older I get, the longer the recovery I see. I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe it'll be something we can
just
fix in short out for a little bit.
Yeah. We got another past SYC bowler, Aiden Rickelman, in the chat. Aiden's off at college, just like your son.
All right.
Yeah.
Where is he bowling?
I don't know if he's bowling in college, but Aiden wants to be a pilot.
Oh, nice.
So we're hoping that he will fly the Storm Jet someday.
Okay.
Aiden, we've got you on speed dial. We don't have a Storm Jet, disclaimer. So if anyone wants to donate the Storm Jet, and then we can hire Aiden as our pilot.
Yes, that works.
Order of operations.
Although, how old is Aiden? I don't know if I want to.
I know, yeah.
A college-age kid is not a pilot. Although they do have the best eyesight, probably.
Yeah, right?
Reaction time, everything.
Yeah. All right, so looking around, this is proving to be challenging, as the short pattern normally is.
Alex with a nice shot there, too.
Yeah, Alex, that was a good shot.
Ooh, trip 4.
Kyler has gone open, strike, open, strike. He likes the right lane.
He does.
Maybe the left lane we can get something going.
Yes, at least those slanted lines instead of the dashes.
Yeah. We did have a question. Is there another stream covering other pairs? We are not, but all the bowlers are moving after every game. They'll skip 2 pair to the right. So you'll see a new group of bowlers come in. And we are trying to show as many lanes as we possibly can on this stream so that you can watch a bowler at home for a couple games or so.
I know it's early, but watching some of these kids, and I just saw 2 left-handers leave what I would have considered Stone Age good shots, leaving 8 pins, and almost not a reaction from either one of them. Yes, it's a bad break, but no kicking anything, no down face, no anything. It's good to see.
You know, in Wisconsin, Brad and Kyle joined us in Wisconsin. Darren Tang will be coming to hang out in the live stream later today, too. He is our
so
pro.
Don't worry, Storm Nation, there will be a definite upgrade.
Oh, no.
Definite upgrade.
No. But Brad and Kyle were with us last month, and Kyle was he commented on that same thing in the stream because he remembers being a youth bowler and getting angry from time to time more than he would have liked.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't understand. All of these kids don't show their emotions on their sleeve. Like, they've already mastered that. So he was pretty impressed.
That is a great start.
Yeah.
Being able to separate, the bad from the good and the good from the bad. You don't get too high and you don't get too low.
I'm going to see if we have some bios for some of these bowlers. We ask them to fill out their bios. Sometimes we have some older ones. Like we do have one for Riley here. Looks a little old, but he's from Twin Falls, Idaho. His favorite pro bowler is Packy Hannaran. Packy comes up quite a bit. He's another YouTuber. So
I would say a righty who likes a lefty. You gotta love that.
Yeah.
No side bias.
His favorite part of bowling is the skill that it takes, which I think it's great that he already recognizes. It doesn't come easy.
It's not easy.
His favorite bowling achievement, he did bowl 300, and he loves the rush when he accomplished that. Now this is when I don't understand what these kids do, but he has competed at the state level in esports playing Valorant and accomplished a state championship with his team as a sophomore.
Oh, nice.
So these esports things and all the video gaming that they do that's the new phenomenon.
It is. They did not have that when I was growing up. There was no esports for Pac-Man or asteroids or anything like that. So.
Yeah, and I think that now they can go and study like video game design in school and everything.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing.
Justin's university has that, an esports team, and I want to say he's not into that, but I do believe they have a major for that.
Yeah.
And nice washout spare on lane 37 by a kid that I can't read his name. He just sat down. That was messenger off the wall to make the washout. and a Storm alum and great bowler himself, Raymond Lucier,
Yes.
is one of the coaches for a very high-ranking E team, and they have won, I believe, multiple titles.
I believe they have.
In Dallas.
Yeah. There are some of your family members watching.
Oh, jeez.
Justin would like to tell you that he believes it's a definite upgrade when Darren arrives.
Yeah, thanks, kid.
Danielle just says hi.
Okay. Hi, Danielle. My favorite daughter.
Justin back at school? Is he all moved in?
He was moved in, yep. A couple weeks ago, took him back there. Bowled a tournament with them, the 11th Frame Open.
Nice.
Justin bowled well, and I should have stayed home or just watched. But yeah, we got him moved in. They're actually going through tryouts right now. And, they have 2 more days after already 6 days of tryouts. So
That's great.
yes, his senior year, kind of crazy that it's gone that fast.
It is crazy, and I know that you and Regina were talking about how you were talking to some of the parents who are going through some of the things that you went through a few years ago, and it was kind of that full circle moment, right?
Yeah.
You're talking to them about they're starting the college search, and that can be incredibly stressful.
Oh yes.
So
Trying to figure out where you want to go. Most of these bowlers do want to participate in college bowling. Some will not. Some are great bowlers now, and they just decide that they want to go into either a university that doesn't have it, or they just prefer to focus on their academics, which is great too. But then trying to find the right fit for you as a bowler. Location, obviously the schooling is the most important. Find a place that has what you want it to have. And then the bowling is secondary. Unfortunately, not every one of them will be professional bowlers.
it's so sad.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. Some make the choice and some don't, and it's a choice. Like it is, and it's a tough choice. But do you have any advice for those that are kind of starting that journey?
It's tough. I mean, visit as many schools as you can. Find out about the school. As crazy it is, it's the weather. If you're a California person moving across the country, the weather's going to be different. If you're a person from New York moving across the country, the weather's going to be different. Location of airports to get in and out to see your kids. That's kind of important as well. But when you're looking at directly at a university, in our opinion, or my opinion, don't go to a university just for the bowling. Go to the university for the academics, the sort of the college life that it looks like will fit your personality and what you're interested in, and then the bowling will come.
Yeah, I think that's a great piece of advice. I also think we have a lot of college coaches that work with us, and they all talk about, making sure that the major that you want to major in is there. And sometimes bowlers try to make a major fit, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So there's so many college bowling programs out there. If you do want to bowl, it's endless.
Yes,
there
are so many.
Yeah, it's the opportunities just keep growing every year. So, don't get discouraged and be open.
Yeah, and a lot of kids are looking for, some kids want to go to large universities, and some of the larger universities might not have a program, or if they do, that's good. You need to know the university size you want. You want, 40,000 people at your university with a bowling program, or do you want 3,000?
Right.
And that's a lot of people. That's kind of a big thing for them. You want those college football games to go to when you're not bowling. You want the basketball games.
And you're totally right. Like for me, I always wanted to go to a big school.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that environment, but my little sister was the opposite, and she had no interest in a big school. She was only looking at small schools. So it is totally up to you, and yeah. So you see here we got some, what happens on the short pattern when you're playing the gutter. Sometimes it'll go in the gutter.
Yes. Yes.
I've done that. Have you done that?
No, never.
Yeah.
I've never thrown it in the gutter. I've bowled for 35 years, and I've never put one in the gutter. Or put two in the gutter in the same frame. Never. Okay, that's a little bit of a fib.
I know, right?
But when you do throw it in the gutter, if that's where you're playing, one of the things you need to do is, don't panic. Commit to your next shot, that it should have been right where you wanted it to go in the first place. You did the worst. One of the worst things you can do is, panic, and then if you're playing 2 or 3 and trying to tug it, and you tug it up 5 or 6, it's not going to be a good result in general.
It's true.
Yes, you don't want to get 0-0, but be comfortable that you know what you can do and that's what you had been doing. So stick with that.
Yeah, and just sometimes you practice the gutter, right? Like play the gutter, practice it. Darren Tang is creeping. For all those YouTubers that are waiting for Darren to arrive, I'm going to let Darren go off on the YouTube chat right now because they're driving me nuts with the quality comments. So
no.
I'm bringing in Darren to take care of the chat.
His seat is here.
Yeah. All right, so I did just get handed a full sheet of the bowlers that we're watching. So if you are watching and have been with us, we were watching. Let's see here.
Ooh, and on 43 and 44, I cannot read that, but one of the bowlers has a front 7.
Ah, okay, 43
and 44.
43 and 44.
So
What letter is it?
44 E.
That is Elias O'Halloran.
Ah.
Mr. Elias, who has grown a foot and has a new hairdo.
I have seen his name and seen him bowling many times.
Yeah, he's on front 7 alert.
Yeah, he is a veteran, and he's only how old? He's a veteran of SYC.
Yeah, I know. He's
what, 15?
He might be he might have just moved up to the U18.
Okay.
Yeah, he probably has filled out a bio at some point. He certainly has bowled a lot of SYCs. So he is 16.
Okay.
And he has bowled 4. He's from San Diego. Favorite bowler's Belmo. He has 1 junior gold, and he enjoys playing guitar. And he wants to say hi to his mom. Justin he says that short patterns are hard. He can attest to that.
Yes, he can.
We have our friend Jeff Phillips in the chat. Maddie is another one that just aged out of SYC. She's in college at Wichita State, where they just made a big announcement yesterday that the girls program is going to NCAA next year. But Jeff is healing up from an injury, so we're wishing Jeff well. The SYC parents become like family out here.
Get well soon, Jeff.
Yeah. Got a question. Jeremy Morris on 44D. How is 44D doing over there?
44D. Not too bad. Spare, double, open, spare, strike.
Yeah.
He's up shooting a spare now. And
he gets it.
Made it.
Hard way.
Yes. Looking across the house, I don't see a whole lot of strings of strikes. A double here, 3-bagger. We had someone on 33, went 4-bagger, 9 out. Strike was currently up now.
Jennifer says that he's here with his grandparents, which we have that happen every so often, where bowlers, parents may have to work. There's a lot of tournaments out there for kids. I don't know if you know this.
Oh yes.
But so parents can't always get those weekends off to work, and if you have a great support system, we've had aunts and uncles bring kids to tournaments. Friends will bring them, where you might put up your bowler on the plane and another family picks them up from the airport. So these kids are pros.
Handing off, the bowling family is ever enlarging.
Yeah.
we've seen that with many people coming up and stopping by our little booth, and they're, Grandma, can I get this one? Or the grandparents will ask, which one do you want? And so.
Yeah, it's great. Well, and your wife Regina made a special gift for all the SYC bowlers, which was so nice. They all got a keychain to take home, and so kind of you guys.
Little commemorative thing for the kids, and we like to give back to as much as Storm has done. We like to give back a little bit to the Storm community and the SYC kids. It's fun to watch. It just sort of takes you back. We've seen college bowling. We've gone out to see some of Justin's college tournaments. Can't get out to as many as we would like, but it's different to see the ages back down, obviously a little bit more. So
yeah,
a lot of the younger kids and some kids entering this building who have never been here before.
Oh yes,
and their eyes are like, wow. I mean, being from California, we're here
often,
a couple times a month maybe, and we take it for granted a little bit.
Well, and I think the remodel. So the National Bowling Stadium went under a massive renovation a few years ago, and there haven't been many opportunities for these kids to come back and experience it. And the one person came up to me today, and it was Caitlin Abagania, who is she's won junior gold a few times. She's Team USA member. She told me she's never bowled in the stadium today, and I go, that's shocking.
Wow.
But she is at that age where she may have missed it because of the renovations.
Yes, true.
So yeah, it is kind of. I bet the majority of kids that are here have never bowled in the bowling stadium.
Probably.
Yeah. Which again, you just take it for granted, right? We walk in and we're like, I mean, it is pretty cool though. All the new colors and their new masking units are beautiful. I mean, you see the SYC banners hanging, but you still can see that background where it's kind of the U.S., which is really cool because everyone from the U.S. comes and bowls here.
Yeah, and it's wide open, a lot more open than it used to be, and it even seems larger than it was, which is really hard for this building, which is already.
Yeah, it feels
so
like
large.
you're on a football field already, and then you're right, it does feel larger. Especially the back part, because they took away the stadium seating. So now that concourse is just huge. Pretty nice shot by Alex there. He's sort of found something. He's got a clean game going.
Yep.
He's had a couple of nines that probably were close.
Filling frames, the name of the game.
Amen.
And it looks like Elias has got a 9 spare in the 8th.
Oh.
So we've kind of jinxed it.
Well, that's.
Claim it to me, jinx. You don't jinx anybody, Blair.
Oh, I am certainly a black cloud.
No.
Don't you worry.
Still can shoot 279 on a pattern that is pretty tough.
Absolutely. And I don't see very many other scores, so now it is hard to eyeball 80 lanes, but
it is very hard.
I don't see many other strings.
My vision gets me to maybe 2 pairs on each side with a little bit of squinting or a lot of squinting.
Oh, yeah. With glasses on,
with
right?
Glasses,
That's
yes.
me. I agree.
So
if I take the glasses off, I can't see anything.
So on lane 33, the B bowler has a 4-bagger, or had a 4-bagger, 9-out, 3-bagger.
Well, just frame 5. Okay, so 33.
33B.
I do have the sheet. Let's see here. That bowler is Tyler Galbraith.
Okay.
33B.
He's found a little something.
Yeah. Now our scores will be posted on bowlmetrics.com. The link should be in the copy of the post you're watching. I will drop it in the chat again so that you can watch those scores all day long. It is not live scoring, but it is updated pretty quickly. What I want to know, though, is I shouldn't even talk out loud. I wonder if Lane Talk has the National Bowling Stadium. Looks like they do not. We need to talk to our friends at Lane Talk. Get the National Bowling Stadium.
Get it added. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we've had that happen a couple times where one of the, like South Point has Lane Talk in it so they can watch live, which is fun. I can't wait to ask Darren if he wants to bowl on this.
I was thinking, that just looking at him, he's kind of looking over and thinking to himself, how would I play these lanes?
Yeah. He does pretty good on short patterns normally, though.
Yes, he does.
He's not afraid of the gutter.
Yeah, he came out he was at the South Point shootout, or not the senior shootout, and he would show us how to play him, and he's done the last few years, I think.
Yeah.
And get an idea in watching someone who really knows what he's doing, how to start or where to start, what he would go to move as they break down, and just getting that knowledge was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was here for quite a bit yesterday when people asking him the questions, and
we had an unbelievable Q&A. I mean, it was I started it. I turned the microphone over to the first youth bowler, and they had questions the entire time. We had kids wanting to ask multiple questions.
Yes.
I mean, and they all were good questions. They were some of them, they put them on the spot.
Yes. I had run over to the Starbucks, and I had left, and the questions had already been going on for a while, and I went over there, came back, and they were still going. And
Yeah.
A couple of questions that he didn't answer or didn't know, but
Yeah.
or didn't want.
Yeah, he did have some short answers, which he's pretty funny because he's like, and I think the one we were joking with him last night. One of the youth bowlers asked him, "What's your go-to pickup line?" And we're like,
Yes.
"Geez, Darren, way to not give the kids advice."
Yeah, I heard that one. That was. I did hear one of the things that he said, and I believe it a lot, is that once in bowling, you're executing, you're doing what you can, but once you release the ball, it's out of your hands. It's a round ball hitting round pins. And, I think part of that, we were talking earlier about the kids who sort of don't get fazed by that. It's, sure, you leave something, a ring 10 or ring 7, you can get really, really mad if you want, but that doesn't necessarily help you. So you want to stay focused and stay in that moment. Because guess what? You're probably going to get a break later on that's going to come, and they're going to basically counteract the bad break you got.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I do not disagree with that. We had a parent come up after I went back to check in, and Darren was sitting there, and the parent came up and said, I was going to ask a question during your Q&A, but all the kids, he's like, I just let the kids go.
Yeah.
But he wanted to ask if there was anything you would do differently looking back on like your entire time bowling, like your youth career, and now what would you change? Which is such a hard question. And Darren's like, he had a good answer. He said, I don't think I would change much because it's all been like everything that's happened has taught me something. The only thing he said was he'd start YouTube earlier. So, which it was funny. He said, he's like, I was thinking about it in college and everything, and I just, I always felt like I needed to be more ready, or know more, and then he said that just jumping in is the way to really start, which I've heard Brad and Kyle say that too.
Yeah, it's it's more reps that you get on the lane, and the more things that you see. For a lot, we had harder conditions, but they weren't sport conditions when I was growing up, and we played them differently. And now that you get to a lot more of these sport patterns, I'm still learning on it, and I'm really old. So
Amen.
house shots I like.
Yeah.
Sport shots are they're challenging, and you just have to have a different mindset. You're not taking anything for granted. You're focused on every shot. Even spares, the moment you say, "Oh, I got this spare. This one's an easy one," is a bad thing. So
Well, and I think, like you said, you know, it is always evolving, and the technology changes. So what you knew last time you were out there may be new oil. There may
yes.
be new, you know, new bowling equipment. Like there's just so much. Everything is changing constantly in this game, which makes it really tricky.
Yes, the moves I used to make when I was bowling, when they start to dry up, you used to go to a shinier ball and move in and start to shape the lane more. Now, no. Go to a bigger ball and go straighter.
Right.
And that was hard for me, especially with my son growing up and trying to talk to him about what to do or how to do it, and then seeing that, that's not exactly how you want to do it. And it taught me. I for a while taught him a little, and then he teaches me now. He lines me up. Hey, throw this ball, throw him. And I hate to say it, and if he's watching, it hurts me more than it hurts you, son. But you're right most of the time. So.
Oh, I'm sure he's watching, and I'm sure he'll clip that comment right there, and
Yeah.
you'll hear it over and over.
And it's a guessing.
It is.
It's kind of the bowler on 33 shot looks like they shoot 250.
Is that our friend
Galbraith?
Yeah.
And
Tyler Galbraith. Yep.
Elias, split in the 10th
Oh,
for
no.
247.
Justin says I should have clipped that. Don't worry, Justin. It'll be stored on our social media network. You can go back and clip it later.
Don't give him any ideas.
He's a college kid. He knows. I don't need to even tell him.
But it's funny with bowling is there's no perfect answer. And actually, I think
Oh, Justin just commented that it's bowling. There's no right answer. You said it at the same time.
no, I can't. I can't even.
You must be related.
and I think Darren mentioned that too. It's like you're trying things, and like you said, something that worked today on a short pattern might not work tomorrow on a short pattern, even in the same building on the same pattern. And find out what works for you. A lot of times you see people, okay, everyone's playing outside of 5, or if you're not comfortable playing outside of 5, don't try to force you there. Learn and go practice to get comfortable playing there. But do what you can do to the best of your ability. And again, they change.
Yeah, I thought one of the really interesting things Darren said in the seminar was, one of the bowlers asked, how many bowling balls would or I think I asked it, how many bowling balls would you bring to this tournament where there's 3 different patterns, or how many do you need? And he goes, you need 2. And I go, and everyone in the crowd was like, 2. And he goes, a bowling center has characteristics. So if one ball looks really good on one pattern, he goes, don't be afraid to try it on another pattern, even if it doesn't seem like it makes sense. And then try it with different surface, and they can change their surfaces in between blocks and everything. So
Yes.
I thought that was a really interesting thing, especially for kids who think they need to come with 12 bowling balls, and sometimes that can be a little overwhelming. Obviously we try to teach them to build an arsenal, and we encourage them to fill gaps when your bowling ball that may be a heavy oil ball has been around for a few years, that's the one you should be looking to replace.
Yes.
You may want the one that comes out, but tournament bowlers, you need to watch those ones you need, right?
Yes. You don't want to have duplicates of even though they're different balls, it might do too much of the same. And sometimes even a ball with a different layout, a ball that you like that rolls well for you.
Absolutely.
You can pick out a ball.
All right, we are coming to the end of game 1. We're going to take a short break while the bowlers are changing lanes. We'll run a little commercial from one of our sponsors. George, thanks for hanging out with me.
No,
and
thanks for having me.
Don't worry, Justin and Danielle, he'll be back later. So we'll continue this conversation later.
This is going to be like from a down tick to an up tick with Darren, then back to a down tick.
No. Yeah, so all right, we're going to take a short break. We will be right back, and we'll see you soon.
Sport is hard. It's you against the lane conditions. KEGEL is built for bowling. Making lane conditions consistent, that's what KEGEL is all about. They have a comprehensive library of oil patterns to help you with your game strategy. And KEGEL training clinics offer instruction to help you better your game. Visit kegel.net for information on upcoming SYC clinics. And remember, every SYC event features a new, never bowled upon sport pattern unique to each SYC competition. KEGEL, built for bowling. PBA Junior is the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And this year, PBA Junior is proud to announce a partnership with the Storm Youth Championships to offer the Never Give Up Scholarship to promote and inspire young athletes to always stay strong and never quit. Google PBA Junior for more information. A portion of the proceeds from this tournament benefit Ballard versus the Big C. For more information on how you can help. Now, we're in between games. As our competitors change lanes, we'd like to thank the following sponsors. When you combine knowledge, along with technical innovation, quality craftsmanship, and uncompromising integrity for the game, that's Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. High performance from your equipment. Shot after shot after shot. Storm Bowling. No matter your skill level, visit stormbowling.com and find out where your game fits. Storm balls, bags, shoes, apparel, and more. Storm Bowling, proud presenting sponsor of the Storm Youth Championships. Now, we're in between games. As our competitors change lanes, we'd like to thank the following sponsors. When you combine knowledge, along with technical innovation, quality craftsmanship, and uncompromising integrity for the game, that's Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. High performance from your equipment. Shot after shot after shot. Storm Bowling. No matter your skill level, visit stormbowling.com and find out where your game fits. Storm balls, bags, shoes, apparel, and more. Storm Bowling, proud presenting sponsor of the Storm Youth Championships. Now, we're in between games. As our competitors change lanes, we'd like to thank the following sponsors. When you combine knowledge, along with technical innovation, quality craftsmanship, and uncompromising integrity for the game, that's Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. High performance from your equipment. Shot after shot after shot. Storm Bowling. No matter your skill level, visit stormbowling.com and find out where your game fits. Storm balls, bags, shoes, apparel, and more. Storm Bowling, proud presenting sponsor of the Storm Youth Championships. Now, we're in between games. As our competitors change lanes, we'd like to thank the following sponsors. When you combine knowledge, along with technical innovation, quality craftsmanship, and uncompromising integrity for the game, that's Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. High performance from your equipment. Shot after shot after shot. Storm Bowling. No matter your skill level, visit stormbowling.com and find out where your game fits. Storm balls, bags, shoes, apparel, and more. Storm Bowling, proud presenting sponsor of the Storm Youth Championships.
What's up, SYC fans? Darren Tang's back. Darren Tang is here.
What do you mean back?
Yeah. Well, you worked at
It's
SYC.
my first time in today, this weekend.
That's fair. All right, he's not back. Well, you were hovering over here. All right. Welcome back to Reno. We have some new bowlers that
Lots
are
of
here.
new bowlers, yes.
Lots of new bowlers. I'm going to look up who we're watching. Maybe.
You know it's not good when... Yeah, I'm from San Francisco.
Yes.
I don't recognize 80% of the kids from San Francisco or from California anymore.
Well, Darren.
I am
You're
officially
old.
removed
You
from
are.
the California bowling community.
However, you are not removed from the youth bowling community because they are big fans. And George and I were talking about your Q&A a little bit and how impressive it was, how many questions you got.
That was a good one. That was kudos to the kids. I've never been a part of a Q&A where there wasn't any dead time, where we're asking, hey, any more questions? And then all the kids are just staring at you with, deer in headlights. So, yeah, it was a really good one.
It was nonstop. It was shout out to the kids and their parents for hanging out. And maybe Dr. Dean warmed them up because they were so inspired by all that mental
I can imagine they were in that room, deer in headlights.
Yeah, so we have the bowlers we're watching right on our main pair. It's 39 and 40, I believe. Now, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I believe we're watching Mark Fung, Tyler Galbraith, and Brooks Golden, McCallan Gagne, Austin Getz, and Joseph Golo. So hopefully that's who we're watching. And I see Joseph, so good job by him.
Should be right. Should be correct.
We also have some other pairs that you can see. Darren?
Yes.
The pattern is, this is what it started. 36 feet.
This is what it started as, and now it's not anymore?
Well, I mean, it is, but they had a game.
They had a whole game bowled, so it's not actually 36 feet anymore.
It should still be 36 feet.
But the lanes do change, and probably a lot of urethane balls. I would guess it's probably about 37, 38 by now.
That's your guess?
That's
now,
my guess.
I asked you before you came on, do you want to be bowling? And you were like, absolutely.
I didn't say I would want to be bowling. I just said I would absolutely crush this.
Okay, so where would you have started on this pattern?
I would play Delta 1.
Delta 1.
That's my new thing. The arrows are triangles, deltas are triangles. I'm going to call them deltas. Delta 1, Delta 2, Delta 3. If they get to the Delta 7 on this pattern in 5 games, that's either really impressive or they need a map. But yeah, somewhere to the right. Typically on the short patterns, I like to find the friction. I like to find hook to the right. And there is hook because about half the lane is friction. So you just got to find a spot where it hooks from the right. And hopefully that gives you some left. And I've seen a lot of shots get much further left and hold line more than I expected. So that tells me that as long as I'm far enough right on this pattern, I can get my ball through the front of the lane. Should have a pretty good look. But I do believe the Delta 1 is an area of how do we put this? It's a very uncommon place for most of these kids to play, especially if they're bowling for the first time.
Absolutely.
Some may be bowling on a sport pattern for the first time, so it's definitely a learning experience. A frustrating one at that because they, especially some of the two-handed kids that haven't bowled on the tougher stuff or the shorter stuff, if they're playing where they normally play in the league, like 3rd, 4th, 5th arrow, they're going to struggle a lot. I mean, I watched one kid, he was sliding in the left gutter and probably went through about 20, and he picked 3 off the left. And that's just not the window that the lanes are asking for right now.
Yeah, Leanne and I were commenting on that because when they started at practice, a lot of them weren't playing the gutter, and I'm like, that's an interesting decision. But
I think a lot of them just aren't comfortable playing the gutter.
Yeah. Someone who is comfortable is Tyler here. We'll get to see where he's playing the lanes, but he had a 250, I think, first game. I don't think it's been input yet, but he had a lot of strikes.
I think I saw 255, I believe.
Yeah. So he obviously, if I was bowling with Tyler, I'd be watching what he's doing and go,
definitely.
Maybe I need to do that.
And I can already picture a lot of parents, if their kids on the same pair as Tyler, going, hey, why don't you try to play the lanes like him? I can imagine a lot of the kids going, I don't throw it like him, or I don't have a bowling ball like that. And that's not the mindset you want to have. You want to have that, how can I replicate what he has? Instead of, I can't do that. Because the second you say I can't, then you're already shutting out any kind of possibility of finding success where he's at.
All the parents watching are like, Darren is speaking the truth. I need to play this back for my child.
It is a two-way street, though. It is. It is. I know
Yes.
the Dr. Dean session had a 1 hour parent session as
They
well.
did, yes.
So I
which
know
is great.
I'm gonna throw my dad under the bus right now. He's not gonna care because he doesn't watch these, but I'm sure he would attest to that. Or what I'm about to say is, it's maybe he won't, but it's tough, as a kid coming back and let's say you go up there and miss a spare. You're already pretty disappointed in yourself, and you don't feel great. It doesn't make it any better when you see your mom or dad in the back throw their hands in the air or have a look of disgust. It makes it really tough to go to that next shot because now you don't feel like you have that support anymore from your parents in the back, even though they're just expressing that same emotion that you're feeling. We see that as kids, and we respond appropriately to that kind of reaction. So
Yeah. Dr. Dean talked about that in 2017. I'm sure he brought it up. I think a parent told me that he brought it up again. That
I have to imagine that's the main topic of conversation. With
right. The
parents.
first thing that your child sees when they're walking back, if they look up, is most likely you. So and it's hard. Like as a parent, I remember him saying that you don't even know what your face is doing.
Right.
Like, so being a little more, in tune with having something supportive to say, even if it's not going well. Like, of course you're angry and, well, maybe not angry, but, you're thinking about how much money that you're spending to be here and everything. But
yeah, my dad was angry.
The last thing you want to do is make your youth bowler feel guilty. They're doing the best they can, and
Right.
these patterns are not easy.
And they're young, and they're going to make mistakes.
Yeah,
None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes.
absolutely. You had some great advice yesterday in the Q&A. I mean, we were talking about it earlier, and I think one of the one of the really good topics George brought up was that after you let go of the ball, it's kind of out of your hands, right? So I think that's really important for them to hear.
I've had some really good mentors. I've learned from some very smart people, including Dr. Dean. So yeah, definitely controlling what you can control. That's been my mantra or just thing for the last 5 years or so. Mental performance, your mental game. That's half the battle, if not more. And being able to manage that definitely gives you a big edge in the youth bowling scene.
Absolutely.
Because as you're growing up, you have a lot of emotions going on. You don't really know how to manage them, per se. At least I didn't when I was younger.
No.
So if you practice those kinds of things and you get really sharp there, you're going to have the one-up, and you're going to pick up pins on the field alone just based on your mental game. Being able to move on from a shot rather than letting it drag on for a few frames. That could be 50, 60 pins.
Well, and they're bowling on the short pattern, so we were talking game one. The bowlers that are trying to play the gutter, that you might throw it in the gutter. I mean, it might happen.
Yeah.
And then not panicking when you do that and turning it into a spare. That's a key, right? Like, it's not the end of the world that you just threw it in the gutter because you're on a short pattern.
We always say if you're not willing to throw it in, you're not willing to win.
There you go.
Because that means you're scared. And if you're scared, you're going to have a really hard time winning.
Now, Darren, our friend Michael Duncan over here, he might the coolest hair competition has really leveled up. In the
I've
youth
seen a
bowling
lot of
scene.
hair. There's a lot of hair here.
I mean, it is. I just jinxed him because I brought up his hair. But look at that. Look at that.
It has nothing to do with the bowling, though, so it's okay.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's even Brooks, long hair is back for kids.
Yeah, I'm seeing mullets. I'm seeing a couple afros. I'm a little jealous because my hair's really straight. I've always wanted an afro. Or a sky top. I felt like those are really cool.
Yeah.
I watched Hey Arnold growing up, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are, I loved hair.
Yeah, there's a man bun over there. There's different color hair. All
Telling
kinds. Yeah, kids are not afraid to express themselves, and
No,
I respect that.
Yeah, you see it in the jerseys. You see it in the style. Sometimes we'll have some full outfits. It's not just girls anymore. Guys are all in.
Right, yeah.
Darren, what is coming on your channel? What's
What is
new?
coming on my channel?
Yeah,
what
do you got?
New?
What are you gonna tease our friends?
We have some videos on the back burner. When we shoot in bulk, maybe somewhere between 3 and 5. Okay, maybe 2 and 5, because we get a little caught up in discussing some business matters, and the whole YouTube thing for me is a lot more serious than many of you may realize. But I think we have a tier list coming up soon.
What is a tier list?
A tier list. It's basically me ranking bowling balls.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So our 2023 releases, I think there's 17 of them on this list.
That's awesome.
I rank them. It's completely subjective, just based on the success I've had with bowling balls and it's more like where they fit for me and my priority and how soon they come out of the bag. Like, I'll have a topic where it's the nut. Obviously the nut balls are the ones that I can't keep out of my hands. Yeah. And then there's a category with just eyeballs, and they're balls that I've seen go down the lane, and maybe I haven't thrown them a whole lot, so I usually put those there. Just balls I don't have a lot of experience with, but I've kind of seen them go down the lane. And then everything in between.
I like it.
Coming soon. I thought it was dropping yesterday, but it might be today.
That's a great video. I think,
those get a lot of views, so we definitely don't do as many of those as we'd like.
The one video I didn't get done as much as I wanted to at Bowl Expo this year was a bowler's must-haves, because kind of we have at Storm like everything you need almost, minus like maybe pants. We don't sell pants or jerseys, but I mean we sell jerseys. We have jerseys on the website, but we have a belt now. We have like shoes, like the racers and everything. Like I wanted to do a full-on.
The racers are really nice.
The racers are amazing.
So there were a lot of complaints about the older shoes that many bowlers were not a fan of, and a lot of the adjustments were made, and I am very happy with them.
Yeah. They're fun.
And most people will know I speak my mind. I tell the truth. I don't try to just sell a product. I will tell you what I actually genuinely believe in.
Which is why your fans appreciate you, because they know that you're not just selling it. So we have a fan cheering on Austin Getz in the chat. He's going to go for the split here. Let's see what he does.
If he throws the same exact shot, he picks it up. That was pretty close.
That was pretty close. He is on a little struggle right now. We're hoping Austin can turn it around.
The good thing about struggling like this is it can only get better.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to think so.
That's the right attitude.
And the pessimist would say it could stay the same. And hopefully it doesn't, because if you're struggling, we're hoping you're doing something different to help make it better.
Do you think short patterns get easier in a block? I mean, I guess it depends, right? But
it definitely depends.
Yeah, like sometimes. All right, so explain a short pattern, the progression of a short pattern in your mind.
I'm gonna have a two-sided kind of explanation. One's on the pro side, one's on let's just call it the junior side.
Okay.
So for the pros, typically, we all know how to play the gutter, and it's just everyone has little preferences on how they like to attack it. Some guys like to play really straight, really firm. Some guys like to throw it at the gutter really fast. But either way, their break points are about the same.
Okay.
So no matter where they're standing, what they're throwing, all the balls are probably crossing the same point once it's the end of the pattern. So in that respect, they might be really easy to start. And a lot of times, the short patterns will cliff really bad. Too much oil to the left, too much hook to the right, and that's because we're all playing to the right, and we're all typically throwing urethane, as we know, stretches the pattern, brings oil from the front of the lane down the lane because the flare is so little. In theory, you would think that makes it more like league, but we stretch, there's only a small window where it's like league for us, where we can have a little bit of left, a little bit of right, but at some point, we get kind of stuck to where if we get it a little left, we call it long left, we might 2-pin, it might 2-8-10.
Sure.
And then if we get it to the right too fast, it might go high, it might big 4, 3, 6, 10, et cetera, et cetera. So I think the pros definitely make them easier faster. On the junior side, like we mentioned before, a lot of the kids aren't comfortable playing to the right, so they're not going to develop that defined hook spot. So a lot of them are playing around the track, and it's going to be really hard to play that part of the lane early because that's not what the lanes want. But as they work that part of the lane, and especially with urethane balls, they're bringing that oil to the spot where there's hook. So as they progress throughout the block, it's going to get easier towards the end for them because now the lanes are going to come to them. where they're more comfortable playing. So they don't have to throw urethane, they can throw reactive. And I already saw a lot of hold kind of towards the middle, or more hold than I would think towards the middle of the lane. So I would assume scores with the reactive balls or the kids playing towards the track will start to improve around game 3, early game 4.
I like that breakdown. I think that summarizes it. Now, some of the bowlers were telling me, oh, you have the lane patterns, that the medium pattern was more challenging in practice. So I hope that's not true.
I think it depends on the level of skill. I think the medium could be harder for some of the better bowlers, or they think it's harder.
Yeah.
Just because the higher skill bowlers will be able to play further to the right and play the quote-unquote correct part of the lane. So in terms of that,
nice pickup by Henry Hine on 41 there. Sorry to interrupt.
What did he get? Yeah,
it was the. Give me a second.
It was some kind of 6 split.
It was the. Is it the?
Was it a 2-4-6-10? I thought I saw his ball go to the left.
No, it wasn't.
The other way?
It was the other way, I think.
3-4-6-7.
4. Yeah. I'm trying to put it back in my mind because I just glanced up and saw it, and then it was gone.
Did the pins go to the left or to the right?
They went. Shut up, Darren.
I'm trying to figure out what split he left.
I'm pretty sure it was the 3-4-6-7.
Okay.
That's where I'm going with. If someone else who was watching.
Yeah. So if we just look at the ratios, you would think the medium pattern would be the highest scoring because it has the highest ratio. But what I recently learned about short patterns is you can't make the ratio too high, or else the pattern just hooks way too much.
Oh, there you go.
You can't play to the right because it hooks so much. So, looking at the ratios, the short pattern's 2.46 to 1 on both sides. I think they're all symmetric, right? Yeah. So the short pattern has the lowest ratio, but because of the amount of friction on the lane, I would think the short pattern would be the easiest. Just looking at the graphs alone. But given our explanations about, the kids aren't pros. They're not going to be able to play all over the lane, wherever they want, and do whatever they want to the bowling ball. So, being a little more restricted in terms of where you can play on the lane is gonna hurt for sure, and that hurts on the short pattern. I think the short pattern is going to be the lowest scoring overall, just because
it usually
of the number of kids that aren't familiar with playing that part of the lane. And then the medium and the long, they're pretty close in ratio. The medium's 3.59 to 1, and the long is 3.22. But the long has more of a defined spot to play, so I can definitely see why the kids think the medium is harder. Usually that 38 to 41 range is tricky because the field isn't going to play the lanes in the same spot. People are going to play where they want to play, because in the medium patterns, you're kind of allowed to do that. With different bowling balls, different surfaces, you can manipulate a bowling ball to do what you want in kind of that range of length. So I think that's what's going to make it tricky, really.
So, as we reported in Game 1, because both of them were bowling pretty close to us, Tyler Galbraith is currently leading after Game 1. He shot 255. We're watching him. He's on 39 right now. Elias O'Halloran, 247. Vincent Jablonski.
He was bowling right in front of us as well, 37-38.
Yep, 235.
Scores are very low.
Very low.
10 200 games.
Yeah, that's it.
But I also don't see, I didn't see anybody playing where I thought I would play. So.
On the girls' side, scores are low as well. Sapphire Nofuente, 238. Madeline Ardias, 203. And Bailey Turkis, 202. And that's all plus for Game 1.
13 200 games in the entire building of how many entries do we have?
209 is where we, I believe,
209.
ended.
So we have basically about a 5% clip rate of 200s.
Yeah. U15 boys, no 200s.
That is crazy.
U15 girls, Bella Castillo, 198.
Why is she bowling in the U15?
she bowls where her age says.
So I believe we have 4 Team USA members bowling. Maybe more. Four that I know of.
Yeah, we might have some developmental.
'Cause Bella is on the development.
She
right?
is. Yeah, we have Ernesto is in the building. He's on the.
He's also developmental, right?
Okay, I believe yes.
Who's-
Micah Voris,
and Caitlin.
Caitlin
Abagania.
Ambagania. Yeah.
Those are the four that I think I saw.
Yeah, I don't believe we have any others. We might be missing someone.
But shout out and congratulations to them. It's a very big accomplishment.
Huge. Yeah.
It's awesome to see them out here and showing us what they got.
And they have those cool jackets this year, the red, white, and blue flag.
Yeah, I have a hard time wearing mine because it's a loud jacket.
It's very loud.
It's
yeah.
very, you see it.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm going to wear when I represent my country, but I probably won't wear it any time outside of that.
Yeah. It does stand out. Normally they're a little more subtle, but this one is definitely.
Try to keep it a little more low key, and I don't really. I mean, especially out here, kids are looking for approval.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't blame them for you proudly wearing it because you should be proud to represent your country. But I definitely think a lot of kids get jealous of seeing that thing. But it could be a motivating thing.
Yeah.
When my brother bowled 300 when he was 10, and I was 12 at the time, I was jealous. That probably drove me to be the best I could be more than anything. And I was 12 years old, but seeing a younger sibling achieve something so big, so young, of course you're going to be like, all right.
Darren, you don't know this, but I bring you and Mikey up. I think I talked to Mikey about it at one of the tournaments, but I actually bring you and Mikey up a lot at SYCs because we have a few brothers that are kind of competing.
I remember I was at the SYC in Ohio, and you were talking about the Jordans.
Jordan brothers. Yeah. And it's still kind of a conversation, right?
They are exactly the same as Mikey and I. One's uber talented. The other one, you look at him, you go, he throws it all right, but you don't really think much of him.
Yeah.
That was me.
Right. And he works incredibly hard, right?
And in the long run, I think that's what's going to pay off is that hard work because that stays with you. Your talent can only take you so far.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Landon's going to be a flop just because he's talented.
No, of course
I'm
not.
sure he works really hard too. And, that's a scary thing when you combine hard work with talent.
And we're not calling your brother a flop either.
I'm calling him a flop.
Oh, jeez. I'm not calling Mikey a flop.
No, I think he's, for the longest time I said he had a top 5 physical game on the tour.
Oh, yeah.
I still believe that. And, it just kind of goes to show it's not about how good you throw a bowling ball. It's about how you play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that you have a very inspiring story for a lot of these kids where, you work incredibly hard at your game. And I don't know if many people, now that you do YouTube, I think more people realize
they probably
how
see
much,
it a little more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even the YouTube videos, you don't really see the kind of grind, the grunt work behind it all. You just see a little more of the, I'm pissed off because I bowled bad, or you get a little more analysis after I bowl a block. I missed X amount of spares. Kind of talked about it in the Q&A. That's how I process things after events. I try to figure out how many pins I gave up and how much I can make back if I bowl the best I can bowl.
Right.
And you're not always going to bowl your best, so you can't expect to get those pins every time. But just knowing that that's out there for you to get, that's kind of something for you to work after, get after.
Well, and I think that analysis is important. I think you also talk to the bowlers a lot about your time in the gym and how much you do, and then eating right. Norm Duke talked about it when he just retired because we asked him. We go, Norm, why are you're not even bowling the PBA 50 senior tour? You're done. And he goes, you don't understand that there's never time off when you're a bowler, because even if you have time off, and there's a lot of downtime right now, but you can't just give everything up, because then you have to get it all back when the season starts. Like you guys are.
Well, some guys can, and that's where I'm like, man, this kind of sucks because some guys are so talented that they can just pick it back up.
Well, that's true, yeah.
But I mean, that's such a small percentage of people. But but still, it's
a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time that people don't see, and
I do believe there is a lot to be had. I don't think the competition in bowling is really as great as other sports. I don't. I truly don't. Because I've seen it. I've talked to some of the best. I've competed against some of the best. And just the way we do things does not compare to, Like if you were to compare Belmo to, let's say, LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron works way harder at what he does. He has to take care of himself way better than Belmo does. I'm not knocking anything that Belmo does because he is going to be the best of all time at some point, and that's my opinion. But just the things you have to do in other sports requires way more, and there's more competition. So if you want to be great, you can be in bowling.
Right.
You just have to work harder than everybody else, and that's really all it takes.
Well, and I think that you and Brad and Kyle and Packy and some of the other guys that are on YouTube, you're really inspiring this next generation. And you even said it in your Q&A yesterday. You're like, we take better care of our bodies than maybe the last generation, and you expect the kids to keep pushing it even more. Yeah,
that's just the natural progression of things. The younger generation is always going to find a one-up on the one before, whether they know it or not. And it's just naturally going to get better.
Yeah.
That's just how life works.
Right. Well, and I think the kids are the youth bowlers are inspiring a lot of things in our industry.
For sure. I mean, we've got 6 kids in our evolution staff bowling in Sweden now. One's in the top 5.
Exactly. I mean, it's crazy. And the other thing they're doing is because there's so many of them, and there's so many families that support these kids and take them to these events, they're actually inspiring jobs in the industry.
Really?
Which hasn't happened very often. I mean, at Storm, we've just hired 3 young people, new positions at Storm. We have a new UX designer. He graduated from SCAD. We have a new social media manager, graduated from SCAD as well.
That's awesome.
And then we just hired, I'm trying to think, there was another young kid that we just hired. I'm missing someone, but
there are definitely some new faces in the ball videos.
Yeah.
And then they're very good bowlers as well, so that's cool to see.
Yeah, so it's definitely inspiring, but the more, we always talk for me when I was a kid, when I was these kids' age, right? I loved bowling. I didn't know where bowling really fit in my life. I wasn't uber competitive. I went and bowled competitive tournaments and stuff, but I like playing other sports. I just liked sports. I didn't necessarily want to go be a pro bowler, but I did want to work in sports and wanted to work in bowling. So I think there are kids out there that are like, maybe I want to go out on tour, maybe I don't, maybe I want a job in the industry, and we need more jobs.
Sure,
we need more opportunities out there, because for a long time there weren't.
I have the perfect parallel for you, but first I see Buckeyes up 21-7. Blair, Jeremy, she knows.
Thank you, Jeremy. You can't see my picture over here.
She's watching the game.
Don't worry.
She's watching the game, and I'm playing Pokemon.
That might be why when there was a split, that might have been why I didn't know what pins were left.
Yeah.
So we'll do our best to commentate.
So a lot of people know Alex Hoskins, right?
Yes.
What a lot of people don't know is him and I met in 2016. We bowled the member-non-member event together, and we finished second to Stu.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Stu and his partner Brett Wolf. Brett won the Masters back in 2000.
I did not know this.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny to look at our progression through our respective fields. We're both in bowling, right? But I chose the competitive route.
Sure.
He chose the industry route.
Yeah.
And now, we kind of both reached about the pinnacle. I got to win my first title pretty recently, and now Alex is he's head of R&D or something like that.
He's incredible. Hank says it, and a lot of people at our company, Gary says it, a lot of people say it. Alex is in the perfect position for him. He is such a, I don't want to call him a bowling geek because it sounds like a negative, but
it's not a nerds are in.
Yeah, he is a total bowling geek. He's so about the numbers. He's so about data. He's so about testing. He is so about proving things.
Yeah, and I'm his guinea pig. So it's kind of a cool little relationship we have. And it's funny that we are where we are now because of where we started. He was just starting out at Storm, and I was just starting out my career on tour. And
way cool.
We've kind of evolved through this whole deal together.
Right.
He's definitely played a part in my success.
That's awesome.
And I'd like to think I've helped him figure some things out at Storm. But
oh, yeah. Well, Alex, every time a bowler comes through, he always wants them to throw balls, even any bowler, anyone on our team, because he believes that every style he watches teaches him something different. So
Sure, yeah.
he's always, whenever someone comes through, he's like, all right, can you throw this ball, right? And
yeah, he's an amazing bowler himself.
oh, absolutely.
I
Yeah,
mean, he's in the top 10 averages for the USBCs for the last 10 years.
well, and his ratio of making TV shows when he goes out and bowls
it's
a random stop.
Yeah, he made the Masters show 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and he has. I mean, he bowls certainly, but
Oh, he wins.
he wins, but he doesn't always have a lot of time to practice because he's working. So he's
No.
just really another one that's really talented.
Yeah, I think those regular events are his practice, and then when he comes and bowls with us, that's his game time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really good player though.
Jack Pearson wants to know: is this as hard as the short in Wisconsin? It looks tricky, but I don't. Wisconsin was hard, and I'll tell you what was tricky about Ashwaubenon. You bowled at Ashwaubenon.
Was that SYC?
Yeah, last Green Bay. So
I've never bowled there. No.
Oh, you
I didn't,
haven't.
I didn't bowl the Masters the year it was there.
okay, so Ashwaubenon went. They have some big events coming in the next few years. I think Queens is there next year.
Oh,
There might be a men's event. I'm not sure.
probably the Masters.
Yeah, probably. But they had all their lanes leveled this year
Oh,
in January, and so this was the first time a short pattern had been laid down after the lanes were leveled.
that could go one of two ways. It'd be really good or really bad.
It went the really hard
It went south.
direction. It went the gutters do not really play direction.
Oh,
Yeah, and
just
that,
not enough surface.
Yeah,
That's also another thing that I didn't see enough of when I walked into the building earlier. I probably walked in like the third or fourth
yeah.
frame.
You were here early.
Yeah,
Huh?
there wasn't. I was here in between the times you told me,
You did.
and that's because my date.
Dang,
Yeah, he ditched me. He ghosted me.
dang.
But yeah, I definitely didn't see enough surface on bowling balls, and that's maybe a question that I wish was asked in the Q&A. Nobody asked about surfaces or what kind of surfaces should be prepped for the patterns. I did really like the bowling ball question, though,
Yeah.
about what bowling balls, or it was more how to build an arsenal, and then it kind of shifted towards what I would pay attention to, what kind of balls I would throw if I was
Right.
bowling this week on a
Yeah.
short, medium, and long. And I mentioned to the kids that there are some variables that are the same. You're bowling at the same bowling center. You are bowling, I think, on the same oil. I don't think you guys are kind of switching it
No.
up like that.
Yeah, no.
And we kind of recently learned that we try to match bowling balls to the types of oil we're bowling on rather than the pattern we're on, because that same bowling ball could look good at any given point on each pattern. You know, if you have one that looks good on the fresh for the short, it might look good on the fresh on all of them. Or if you have one that looks good a little later in the block, you know, like a game 5 on the short pattern, it might look good maybe game 2 on the medium or game 1 on the long.
I think every parent that was at your Q&A when you said that for this bowling tournament where they're bowling on 3 different patterns, they needed 2 balls. Or, you know, granted that
Yeah, all the kids want as many bowling balls
Yeah,
as possible,
right?
right?
They were like, see, you don't need 1,000 bowling
the
balls.
the thing about that is you've got to have the options and
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got to figure out which 2. You can't just bring 2 in.
Yeah.
You know, you might get lucky and the 2 are the ones that you need, but if those
Right.
2 end up being not so good, then you're kind of in a hole.
I mean, we talk a lot about arsenal building, and this came up with George actually because I thought that question and your answer might have been the best answer I've heard, because we ask them often because these kids, a lot of them, it's their first SYC and they've never bowled in one weekend on 3 different patterns. It's kind of a mini junior gold in a way,
or like a
right?
World Series of bowling. Kind
Yeah,
of.
in a weekend. And so anyway, we talk about when you're looking to get a new bowling ball, think of what bowling ball maybe you've had for a long time, or one that's like, you know, if your heavy volume ball is the last one you purchased or the first one you purchased when you're building your arsenal and it has a ton of games on it, maybe that's the ball that you need to replace, not
Right.
necessarily the one that you maybe want.
Yeah, I get this question. This is probably the most frequently asked question in my chat, a term that Barrett uses very often. I just learned.
Yeah, chat.
In the wrong way.
Yeah, we could talk to chat here.
Yeah, we have a chat here, but
Yeah.
you know, if you're saying chat and there's no chat, then that makes no sense.
Barrett Holzenberg.
Barrett, are you watching?
We'll text him. We'll send a video.
Listen to your. What would I be to him? His
You're
uncle?
like Uncle Darren.
I'm like a
definitely.
hybrid uncle brother.
You are. We need to do a video for
gosh.
Barrett later. We're gonna do this.
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
Anyways, we have a chat here. What were we talking about again?
You Arsenals.
Arsenals.
Yes.
Oh yeah. One of the most commonly asked questions in my Twitch chat is, what bowling ball should I get? And I always require some things for them. I need to know what other bowling balls they have, what are they using it for, because it could be different. You know, if they're a tournament bowler, maybe I'm trying to fit a gap. If they're just a league bowler, maybe they want something similar that's just different, you know, updated. You know, if they're playing the same part of the lane every single week, bowling on the same thing, maybe you don't need a well-rounded arsenal because maybe you're not throwing the super strong balls or the super weak balls ever. Maybe you just need some, you know, little minute differences between bowling balls that, you know, if you're not kicking out the 10 pin, you could just go to the one that gives you a little more back end, and then bam, we're good.
Not wrong. Good shot there. Man, Tyler is
He's bowling great.
putting on a clinic right now.
He's going to be at least 60 over after, too.
Yeah. We did have a bowler. It looks like someone was watching JC Coria, who bowled 238. That is our next high game in this.
There is a 237 over there on 33 and 34.
Oh.
I would assume scores are starting to pick up a little bit. Kids are figuring out the lanes. You know, it's game one.
Yeah.
Some are probably pretty nervous, especially the first timers.
Yeah, I mean, that pair actually is a good 160, 190, 230, 130.
This is actually a
20,
really good
140.
section of the house, too.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
live
yeah.
stream pairs,
Yes.
29 and 30 is the best pair, or 27 and 28.
Yeah.
27 and 28 is the best pair in the house. I bowled youth adult with PJ Haggerty way back when.
Yeah.
We had almost 1550.
Stop.
Yeah, on that pair.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think I had 820 and he had. No, it had to be more than that if I had 8. No. Yeah, 820 and I don't remember what he had, but it was a lot.
Man, that is brutal. I do like this. I like bowling at the stadium too. I tend to bowl pretty good here.
This is a special place for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were talking earlier, there's a lot of, like, I would say the majority of the kids in this building, it's their first time here because of the renovation and everything.
It's very intimidating.
Yeah.
Because it's a big open space. You never really bowl. Most bowling centers aren't like this.
Right.
So if you're bowling in a
big
place
LED
like this,
screens.
yeah.
Like,
If you've never bowled at the South Point Plaza, which is fairly similar to this,
yes.
it's very intimidating.
I always struggle a little bit at both South Point and here when shooting the corner pins because of the glare.
Yeah, from the masking gear
Yeah,
on the lane.
yeah, and I it took me a couple of, like, I came out here and bowled nationals the first time, like women's nationals was out here, and I kept missing my 10 pin, and I'm like, what is going on? And, like, I'm normally a pretty decent spare shooter, and so one of the girls I was bowling with was like, try changing your angle or whatever, and I had to change my angle significantly just for this house alone, which I think kids, like, don't be afraid. Like, you may practice your corner pins 1,000 times, right? But you're bowling in a center and all of a sudden your angle's off, right?
Yeah,
Does that ever happen? Like,
well, for me, that's where. So I don't fix my eyes on the arrows, so the glare doesn't really bother me. I bring it down to the foul line, so that spot is the same for me everywhere.
Nice. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
There's a trick.
Yeah, I don't recommend it though, because I think that's part of the reason why I don't bowl well at the U.S. Open. Because that makes it hard to make shots when your eyes are shifting like that.
Yeah.
So if I have a good look and shapes are good and it's more feel, yeah, I can repeat it better just looking at that. Bring my eyes really quick to that spot and then hitting that spot. But if they're really difficult, you know, when I'm not so comfortable, my eyes are shifting that fast, you know, maybe I'm not in a spot where I'm comfortable enough to make the right shot. So I think that's part of the problem. I think maybe I need to start looking at the arrows and only at the arrows.
Is the U.S. Open your nemesis?
It is.
Yeah.
I made the cut my very first time. I finished 33rd, I think, right behind Norm.
Okay.
We were kind of talking smack to each other in the last game, which was really cool because it was my first year on tour, and yeah, I looked up to Norm. Yeah, Norm and Tommy were two of the guys I really looked up to growing up. So bowling the cashers round with Norm was pretty cool, and he doubled in the 10th to beat me, of course. But
of course,
it was a good time. You know, I mean, I had a chance to make the cut. Yeah, I was in the top 24 after the first two games of the cashers round. I was bowling well, and then it kind of just petered off. But yeah, it was fun.
I like it. All right, so we are going to take a short break after our friend Joseph makes the spare here. Well, actually, he makes the spare and then has him a bonus ball.
Wait, Tyler bowled 250 the first game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought he bowled 230.
250.
So he's gonna be 88 over after two.
Yeah, he was 255 game one.
Unless one of the other kids that bowled 200 bowled 270, he should still be in the lead after two.
Yeah, and we'll try to keep an eye on him. He only moves 2 to the right, so Darren, would you join us for one more game after our short break?
Of course. I thought you said I was stuck here all day.
Pretty much.
I'll be here.
I think we're going to snag. I will say in game. Actually, wait, what is next game? Game 3?
Game 3 is next.
So game 4, we're going to bring in Kenny Keegan. Actually, I might do that at game 3. You might have Darren, or we might be talking to Ian Bolin. I'm not sure who, but we'll be back with someone, and Darren will be around. So give us a few minutes, and we will be right back.
Now, we're in between games. As our competitors change lanes, we'd like to thank the following sponsors. When you combine knowledge, along with technical innovation, quality craftsmanship, and uncompromising integrity for the game, that's Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. High performance from your equipment. Shot after shot after shot. Storm Bowling. No matter your skill level, visit stormbowling.com and find out where your game fits. Storm balls, bags, shoes, apparel, and more. Storm Bowling, proud presenting sponsor of the Storm Youth Championships. Now, we're in between games. As our competitors change lanes, we'd like to thank the following sponsors. When you combine knowledge, along with technical innovation, quality craftsmanship, and uncompromising integrity for the game, that's Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. High performance from your equipment. Shot after shot after shot. Storm Bowling. No matter your skill level, visit stormbowling.com and find out where your game fits. Storm balls, bags, shoes, apparel, and more. Storm Bowling, proud presenting sponsor of the Storm Youth Championships. Style is everything. You deserve to look as good as your game. I Am Bowling has the shirt and the style to set you apart. Express your personality, intimidate your opponents, or just represent. Most of all, compete in comfort. I Am Bowling, manufactured in the USA by American workers. As a bonus, $15 from every SYC Bowling jersey purchase goes to Ballard versus the Big C.
All right, bowlers, we are back, and I'm joined by Kenny Keegan, co-founder of I Am Bowling and K&K and all of the awesome businesses that you have in the sport of bowling. You got a few.
Got a couple.
Yeah. So, but you are a big part of the SYC. You're the official merchandiser of the SYC. You bring swag and gear. You've got some pro shop items this event because there isn't a pro shop inside the National Bowling Stadium. So we want to thank you for being here.
Oh, well, thanks for having us.
And we're going to turn the screen around and watch some bowling. And we're going to talk about I Am Bowling and some of the great things that are happening. I'm going to find our bowlers that we're watching so I can introduce them. We do have one main pair that we are watching. It's 39 and 40.
You got Mr. Breeze there. Ryland Breeze.
Ryland Breeze. We have... Where am I at? Micah Voris is on this pair. It looks like Ryland Breeze, Jacob Bruff, Connor Campbell, Trevor Brown, Micah Voris, and Joshua McCoy. Those are our bowlers that we are watching. Short pattern's hard. Although it's not hard for Mr. Tyler Galbraith. He bowled 255, and he was just on our pair here and shot 230.
Okay.
So he has no problem. He's like, short pattern, bring it on.
There's always one in every group, no matter what the pattern is, someone gets it.
Yeah. I am trying to give some weird, the National Bowling Stadium is a little big. I don't know if you've noticed.
It is very big.
And we're adding another scorekeeper into our system so that the scores can get done a little quicker.
Yeah, it's You know, when we're sitting on the concourse in the back there by the escalator and the elevators, and it doesn't seem so big, but then when you come out here, it's like, this is really big.
It's a really, yeah. And it looks, George Abood was in here in game 1, and he made the same comment I was thinking. Since the remodel, it actually looks larger, which doesn't.
Well, the grandstand really took a lot of eyesight, like your view.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you couldn't see. So yeah, it seems like twice as big now.
Yeah, it does.
Now, I was telling Kathy, I was like, I just have never understood the mirrors, and she was like, it makes it look bigger. I'm like, it doesn't need to look bigger. It's already big.
It is quite large. Yeah. It feels like a football stadium in here. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they designed this, they really like this was on purpose, right?
Oh yeah.
The ceiling, like to make the ceiling this high.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the one thing I was just commenting on, the kids, since the remodel happened, the kids have not maybe had the opportunity to come here.
Yeah.
So I believe there's more kids here that have never been here than ones that all
that was
have.
One of my questions yesterday was like, have you ever bowled here? And most of them were like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, enjoy.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
So we got some Trevor Brown fans in the chat. He is our letter D bowler.
Okay.
He is up right now. Connor Campbell wearing an awesome SYC jersey. Which one is that? Is that it's not Reno, is it?
I'm not sure.
It looks like a coastal, maybe. I think they see the Ferris wheel and an ocean.
Yeah, that would not be Reno. No Ferris wheel in Reno.
Right? I haven't seen one if there
There's
is
some
one.
weird things here, but not a Ferris wheel.
Yeah. There's lots of Medford fans. Medford, Oregon is represented well at this SYC. They took a big group picture this morning.
Just talking to people, and it seems like there's been a lot of people from California that have moved to Oregon. So,
of course, I didn't even think about
there's
that.
a lot of people from California have moved in a lot of places.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got some in Utah, too.
So I was just going to say, when we went to Cedar City last weekend, I was like, there's a lot of California plates there.
Yes.
So, in Vegas, we got a huge influx of Californians.
I think they moved everywhere.
Yeah.
Are there people still left in California?
Oh, no, there's a lot. They just have had back-to-back years of more people leaving than coming in.
Yeah.
So.
And what's really interesting is the thing that happens next year. Because unfortunately, we're not going to the SYC in Las Vegas for the first time in...
So this is the first year that you haven't had a Nevada event.
It is.
Yeah.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah.
And unfortunately...
Because the inaugural event was here.
Yeah, in 2017. We're back to where it all started. But what's happening in Vegas, you live there, there's a lot of things happening. Like starting this fall, you've got like F1 and you have the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You have all this stuff. And the Open Championships, of course, is coming back to South Point this next year. They were actually here. Women's is coming to this stadium. So Nevada is busy. And there just aren't that many bowling centers on the West Coast. And we just announced our schedule for 2024. And, of course, the West Coast was vocal about, we're not coming.
Yeah.
It really wasn't by choice. Leanne works really hard
on
this schedule. We had a kid from Arizona check in. I go, I keep wanting to take the SYC to Arizona. I keep going, is there a bowling center big enough? And the kid was like, there isn't. So they're just...
like Phoenix is like, there's a lot of 36s.
Yeah.
Like a lot of smaller centers.
Yeah. Gary brought up
36 is a big center, don't get me wrong. But to have an event like this, you really need like 48.
We've kind of minimumed. I think 48 is our minimum now. We actually, if anyone's watching and they're like, why does the SYC never come to my state, right? Say Colorado, which we were just talking about. We're like, why don't we ever go to Colorado? If you know a bowling center that may be interested in hosting, we have a form on our website now.
Okay.
So you can click on want to host and put in the information. We have the lane minimum on that form. So if you're if you're 28 lane center, you can't come there. 32 is tough. unless like Myrtle Beach we do too, but that one's so unique
Right.
because
Boise's 40.
Boise's 40, and we're doing that because it's on the West Coast. So, and
Yeah.
August is that tricky month, right? Every year, August is like, you know, you have kids going
Depending
to
on where,
college now, and
depending on where you are, it's back to school
Yeah.
or you know, yeah,
you just finished junior gold, which that's a couple days.
yep,
Just a couple.
just a couple.
Yeah. Rylan, I think Rylan's.
I don't even remember. Did we have an August? It just disappeared. Like
I
it started and went away.
I lost my entire summer. Not just August. I don't know where the summer
Well,
went.
that's what a lot of people don't realize in bowling. If you work in the bowling industry,
Yeah.
you're busier in the summer than you are in the winter.
Yes.
Because in the summer, it's trade shows, all the large tournaments.
Yeah.
There's all the big stuff happens in the summer, and I think like the average person just doesn't realize that.
No.
Because they're like, summertime, all the bowling centers are closed.
Right.
You know, and it's like, yeah, that's when we're working. We're doing all this stuff.
Yeah, my puppy sitter kept going, where are you like, where do you keep going? I'm like, yep, I understand.
Yeah.
I know. She's like, what? There's no bowling? I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
there
you'd be
is.
surprised. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, our pro shops in Vegas, we're traditionally busier in the summer than we are in the winter. So that's just unusual.
Yeah.
And, coming from Southern California, that was a big thing to kind of get used to. It was weird because, like, in the summer, it's always slow.
Absolutely.
Then we started the apparel company, and then we got it right back. So
Yeah.
So I got the, because now we see the full bowling season. I don't see the Las Vegas pro shop scene. I see when are people really bowling? Well, not in July and August.
Yeah, they just aren't.
That's
Yeah.
they're just not.
Well, most parts of the country, like we were just in Green Bay last month, right? And they told us this was a really great month to host a tournament because, let's face it, in Green Bay, no one wants to be in a bowling center
Of
in the
course not.
summer because
the weather's beautiful
Right.
and you want to
Yeah.
be outside.
right, because in a minute it's going to be freezing cold,
Right.
and
Right.
they're going to be,
There's-
they'll still go watch the Packers play
Yeah.
because they're
Plenty of time to get back to the bowling center.
absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right, so what is happening with I Am Bowling? What's new? What's
Well, the big
exciting?
thing is we're moving. So that's
You're moving.
Yeah, we have we just the way the company just evolved. We have all these different suites in this little complex, and it's it's very inefficient.
Okay.
We're trying to manufacture things, and you're walking from one spot to another. So another spot opened up in the same complex, and so we're moving. The target date's November 15th.
Wow,
So everything will be all under one roof.
that's good.
So it's been actually quite a while. It's been about 8 or 9 years since everything has been under one roof. Kind of excited, but it's moving. There's a lot of,
no one likes moving.
no. There's going to be a lot of. I got to keep Kathy out of the warehouse. There's a bunch of stuff we're going to throw out that she's going to be like, "Hey, wait a second, isn't that our money? Yeah, it's money that we're never going to get.
Yeah, why are we throwing?
We
those
don't
out?
need to move it. We need to just toss it.
Yeah.
So so there's so that's probably the biggest thing. The rest of it is there's a lot of shirt companies now. So there's we're really focusing on our strategy of like what does this all mean, because
Right.
it really for a while there it was 3 or 4, and now it just seems like there's 15 of them just
Yeah.
all over the place. So it's challenging. I mean, they're not all big, but still, if you take a bunch of small ones together, it takes some business away.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're trying to just kind of figure that out. Finally, kind of got our display brand going.
I was just gonna bring that up.
At Bowl
'cause
Expo, we decided not to even really sell jerseys. That wasn't even like, we just totally went. Our strategy was really to go and talk to proprietors. And
Yeah.
that's it was interesting because we got a lot of really good feedback. But people are still kind of like, I thought you guys made jerseys. So it's but we're doing some promotional products and kind of expanding that out.
Well, and I think people that may remember Logo Infusion, you still have Logo Infusion.
Still logo, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the company name.
Right.
Our company name. So I Am Bowling is just one of the brands. It's just 95% of our business.
Right.
So,
right.
you know,
Yeah. And then you can make tablecloths. You you make our great
Do
backdrops,
yep.
that you see in the screen a little bit, and then obviously the kids are taking pictures by it all weekend.
Yeah, banners and
all of our SYC pennants.
The pennants and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you run we talk about this often. If you run a local tournament series, like I wish that the JTBAs that when I was bowling, I wish they had pennants. That's the coolest thing is these kids when they win, there's a pennant hanging. And then when they age out, we give them their pennant, and they can take it with them, and they can hang it. I see them hanging in dorm rooms now, and it's so cool.
Cool.
Like the kids get to have that.
And we do that for like Junior Gold. We sell personalized pennants.
Yeah.
So and we sell quite a few of them where people buy a pennant that has their kid the last name on there.
Yeah, that's great.
Because they bowled it. Bowled the event. So yeah, just kind of expanding our horizons, being cognizant of the fact that there's a lot of competition and we don't want to get trapped in a spot where there's not enough business.
Sure.
So kind of just watching what the other guys are doing and making some adjustments but yeah, the move is the big thing to kind of finish this year.
That's a big undertaking. It is.
Yeah.
It's
and
not
for us, the equipment is the biggest part of it.
Yeah, because you have a lot of it.
Yeah, moving some offices, that's pretty easy. I can get the cable company and the phone company in there, and we can move some desks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we have a heat press is a 5,000-pound item. So
you can't lift that?
And I only have to move it 2 buildings, and I'm like, do I really have to get a rigging company in to lift this thing up and move it 2 buildings? I might.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, if we have a big enough forklift, we can move it. But still,
I wouldn't even risk it. Man.
Yeah, it is.
That's brutal.
And then you gotta plug it back in and hope that
it works.
That everything's fine. Yeah. So yeah, there's a little bit of anxiety there. The printers and the heat press is the big concern.
So I'm going to give a shout out. Joan was watching earlier. Joan is not with us at this event. Joan brings Ryland to some events. Shout out to Joan. Dawson Peterson over on lane 38, who he told us before, he goes, don't look at my scores. He doesn't understand that the rest of the field is struggling too. He's doing all right this game.
Yeah.
He has a couple opens, but Terry McKinney was watching. Dawson's from his area, so I'm sure Terry's still watching. Give Mr. Dawson some support from home, maybe.
Yeah, he's
he's a good
he's a good kid. I've been talking to him a lot lately.
Yeah.
So, and he's a lot of sarcasm.
I was just going to say he's got a sense of
he has
sense
real
of
dry
humor.
sense of humor. He's like with my mental game, I think I'll power through this. And I was like, no one ever brings up their mental game unless they're being sarcastic.
Man.
or they truly have a good mental game.
Right.
But the way he said it, I was like, oh, you're being sarcastic. Okay. All right.
He definitely has that dry humor.
I said, well, you have the physical ability, so like that's what you need is the mental.
Right.
So. But yeah, it's just there's so much talent out here. It's amazing.
Oh, it's like little Ryland here. I say little, but he's not little anymore. But
we always talk about the first time we saw him. It was a Junior Gold in the U12. He was bowling against Brandon Bone.
Yeah.
And when Ryland sat in the chair, his feet didn't touch the ground. And
right.
Kathy was like, his feet don't touch the ground.
Yeah.
Like he's so little.
But he's really come into his own game. And speaking of mental games, like he definitely has worked on his. He used to get a little angry.
Yeah.
And he took some time off from bowling, and then he came back, which, there's no harm as long as you come back. We want you to come back if you take time off, please.
But yeah, the scores are a little bit.
They are not. No one likes the short pattern. All right, I'm gonna try to pull up some scores. Let's see here. U18 boys, because that's what we're watching. Tyler Galbraith is still the bowler we're talking about. 255, 233s in the lead. Elias, 247, 225. Ernesto Reynoso, 216, 246. But then, actually, we got some more. It was just the top 10 was plus. Now we have the top 12 plus. But still is a struggle out there.
And that's how many are in that group? That's the biggest group,
that's
right?
Our big one.
82.
Yeah, 82. Yep. Let's see what the girls are doing, because when we first looked, only the U18 girls and U18 boys were plus. There were no
Oh.
200 games in the other divisions.
Oh, wow.
So Sapphire Nofuente is still plus. She's at 408. Caitlin Abagania, 407. Ariana Arojo is third, -4.
Yeah, they're just all kind of hanging in there.
Yeah.
Kira Maxim, 190, 188.
Yep. Yeah, so it's not easy out there. We then if we go down to U15 boys.
Spares. It's all about the spares, Blair.
That's right. So U15 boys.
I don't even have to come out here and watch. If the scores are low, spares are being missed.
Absolutely. U15 boys, look at little Alex Crowley grinding away. He's at -4, 195, 201. Tatum Lee, -17, and Emerson Hadfield, -35. And the U15 girls, Bella Castillo, -19. That's what I mean. Scores
That's
are
a pretty good bowler. That's averaging 190.
Yeah.
That's she can bowl. So that shows you it's not easy out there.
Nope, it is not. Now Micah, who's stepping up on 39, we talk about him being pretty steady. He often will not have a super high block. He'll be consistently great across all of them.
Always in it.
Yeah, and he kind of I think he's finished. I don't know this stat for sure, but he's got to be up there in the records for finishing second in the SYCs, which I'm sure he's not pleased
Yeah.
about that stat.
Usually people don't like to keep those stats.
Yeah, but
They'd rather be in fifth.
He has made the overall medal stand more than anyone I know. I like third, second. He does have some titles, so it's not like he's never won.
Yeah.
He is an SYC champion.
So again, just back to the spare shooting. That's going to be someone who's consistent, always that's picking up their spares,
Exactly.
and because he's still, he's young and he's still learning how to bowl. I mean, as good as he is, still learning how to bowl.
100%. Yeah.
But he's covering the spares.
Oh.
So
Got
that is a lot of hooking of a bowling ball to pick up an 8-pin, though.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I don't know if that was the way I would go after it, but
I don't think that was what he intended to do.
Yeah.
He did a little head of a face plant kind of. Mr. Trevor Ashby over here on lane 37. Open. Is that a six bagger?
it is a 6-bagger.
So that's one to watch. Trevor
Another very good bowler.
Yeah. Trevor's got PBA Tour aspirations that are coming soon. So you want to watch that name.
Well, they really opened up the settee area here too.
They did. Yeah, there's a lot of space.
Remember, I used to have that weird, there was a fence that kind of went across.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of space up there, so they got a lot of space down there. It's good.
The remodel's awesome. They did a great job, and I love the masking units, like everything.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty hard to do when you take like 3 or 4 masking units like that, but still have the United States on there.
Isn't it cool?
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They don't have those twister pins here anymore, do they? Did they?
I don't.
There was a.
I don't know.
That was
I don't
years
think
ago
so.
that they
I don't
had
think
them.
they have twister. They don't look like twister pins.
Yeah.
I don't want to be quoted saying there
Yeah.
isn't, but
There was a
think there
time
is.
where it was all twister pins here, and
that makes it hard.
the 4, the 9, and the 4-9 were a regular
Occurrence.
occurrence. Yeah. It was like you almost didn't want to hit the pocket because
Just let them spin.
light. Just
Yeah.
be light.
Yeah.
Don't be high because
You'll leave
that
something.
4-9 end your good game right there.
Josh McCoy, another one of the SYC jerseys. I like that there's so many different designs, and I think what's cool is, we do advertise the jerseys that are for each event that we're coming to, but we often have families ask, like, can my bowler pick a different one? They can pick any SYC jersey.
Yeah, we have them all up there. We do them by year. So after the year finishes, then we take all the ones from that year and we group them into category, and we don't. Other than the title of the product, it'll tell you when it was, what
Right.
year it was,
Yeah.
and what. There's nothing on the jerseys. That we stopped doing that. I think the second year.
Yeah, we did because we
Um,
tried to make logos for each one. That was a
Right, we were doing.
Not a good
I
idea.
remember the Music City.
yeah.
That was the one where we got in trouble because everyone really liked the design with the guitar and everything, and then
they wanted to buy it for everything else.
well, yeah, and
Yeah.
of course we sold them a Music City one, and they were like, no, I bowled at the Coastal Classic, and I'm like, okay, but the picture on the online is the
right.
sun,
Yeah.
the Music City, so we just had to dates and
Well, you know,
the
it's a-
truth of it is when we started this, did you ever imagine?
Well, Gary did. Gary had the vision.
Yeah.
And Gary told us, he goes, we're going to do one every month. And he kept telling us this. And Leanne and I went, what are you, nuts? Like,
Right.
what? And, the demand was there. And it's my favorite event to work. And I think it's everyone that comes. Like, I can't speak for you, but I think it's fun to come out and talk to the families. And we've made some friends. And
Yeah.
it's definitely brought a lot to my life, but Gary's the one that started it, and Leanne is a huge part of the SYCs, and now she does the bulk of the work for each event, and it is a lot of work. But you're right, we didn't right when you're talking
Because I think
about,
it was at the first event that Brian and Susan McCall, like their daughter was bowling, I
Yep.
think, and then they said, we'd like to have one of these.
yeah,
at
and Gary
our
was like,
bowling
let's
center.
go,
Yeah.
and so we went to Myrtle Beach the next year, and there were 2, and then there
Yeah.
were 4, and then there were 6, and then there's 9,
Yeah.
and we announced again next year we'll have 9 again.
And even during COVID, I mean, we
Yep.
had to cancel some events, but I think we added some events. I think
Yeah, we only canceled one.
I think we
and
still had 8 events
we
in
did.
2020.
Yeah, the only one we canceled was
Minnesota?
and we
Yeah.
never went back because we just couldn't make it work. But it's just an incredible thing. But we did try to do. If you go back to 2017, which Micah bowled in Reno in 2017.
Wow.
So he's him and Morgan Klein. Morgan unfortunately got hurt and had to withdraw. But I'm not sure if anybody else in the field this weekend. I'll check with Leanne after this block, but I want to say Micah is the only person bowling
That's
that bowled in that
bowled.
first event.
Yeah.
And but at least at this tournament.
Even Caitlin the Abaganyas didn't bowl.
Caitlin, this is her first time bowling in the National Bowling Stadium.
That's incredible.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
She told
that's-
me that this morning.
All the stuff that she's bowled, that's very
surprising.
weird.
And she's
Yeah.
from California, so a lot of the
Yeah.
California kids come and bowl, but it's just the remodel. The remodel hit at that weird time for a lot of these kids.
Yeah.
But so anyway, you do the logo. We did, if you go back in time, we did have like Reno, Nashville had the city across, Music City.
Yep.
We had a couple others. Fort Worth had the city on it, but you talked about your brands and everything. The SYC became a brand, right?
Sure.
And so we wanted that logo, that badge that these kids wear on stickers and on all the gear you make. Like
Yep.
it's a brand, and we don't want to change that logo because we want kids to recognize it, and the colors, the red, white, and blue. Like it was all really thought out, and so now here
It's
we are.
very cool. I mean, you guys gave out 3-ball tote rollers this week
Yeah.
instead of bowling balls, and
Yeah,
so
just
I
exclusive.
was watching everyone walk in this morning with how many people switched out their bags.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, a lot of them said they brought bad ones to leave behind, I guess. They're like, I'm like, well, that was a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah. I hope the airline doesn't mess them up on the way back.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's I'm just thankful to be a very small part of the SYC and all that you do to give back to the SYC. We really appreciate it.
Well, I still remember the phone call when Gary called me.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got this idea. What do you think about this? And we're going to have the inaugural event like in 6 months, but don't tell anybody. And I was like, okay. I said, well, count us in.
Yeah.
Right. That's interesting. I don't know. And then we actually missed the first event because we had already scheduled it was during spring break.
Sure.
So we were taking the kids on a vacation and so we actually missed the first event. And then we went to the second event and I was like, wow, this is
amazing. Right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I came to the first event. You know what I missed?
Because the dudes were here, right?
The dudes came to the second one. The first one was.
Oh, was the second year
yeah,
that
the first one was incredible. We had no idea. Honestly, looking back on it, like I remember Gary and Leanne put so much work into the initial part of it, like getting the tournament together
right.
and getting. We had a lot of seminars. We had a lot of players here for that first one. Randy Peterson was doing the live streaming. We had like the voice of ESPN. Like it was a big deal. But none of us that really came knew what we were doing, which sounds weird, right?
Right.
But you don't really,
because it was the first time.
Yeah, it's like we had
How's
no
this
idea,
gonna work out,
right?
you know?
Like, and it was funny because Kim Powers, who's volunteering, you see her right off screen. She's taking photos this weekend. She was actually at the first event taking photos, and she came back and she asked me and Leanne. She goes, "How many events have you guys done?" And we've lost count. We were like, we have no idea. But she goes, "It's probably not as crazy as it was the first time." And we were like, no, you're right. Like it is. It kind of you know what to do now. We know what to expect a little bit.
Right.
And yeah, it's not
a little different here just because it's not a typical bowling center.
True.
And it's like I've operated our business in this building a lot, but never when like the USBC wasn't
right.
operating something.
Yeah.
So like there's always a friendly face to say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And now it's like Leanne was like, "Oh, Ginger's here. You know her?" And I'm like, I don't remember the name Ginger, but then when I saw her, I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's Ginger. Okay,
right.
All right." So it's interesting. Like I don't even know how do they turn this stuff on? Like there's no like
control counter.
Right.
They got rid of the control counter in the remodel. They do have a couple different ones, but yeah, it is a little different, and that's the beauty of the stadium, right? Here,
it just operates different.
It does. This is a definitely different business, and it's changed over the years. But we are thankful to be back, and we hope to come back in the future. I don't know when it'll be because they're just so busy. Like, something that you may not know about the National Bowling Stadium is they actually host events other than bowling here. So sometimes they will host school dances in this building because it's so large, and they will cover up the lanes and put down flooring, and they have a haunted house.
Yeah, what's interesting is I heard a story about this when they changed management in the convention authority, and it was originally designed that way, where there's they have I guess some floor that goes over the lanes, and so they were asking, they were looking for space, like, do we need to build more space, whatever, and someone was like, we can always use the bowling stadium to get this false floor.
Right.
And everyone was like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, we've never used it. And I just heard the story. So it's interesting you're saying it because it confirms that. Because I always wondered about that. But they said there was some kind of flooring that covered up.
Totally.
So they can do all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah, they host a lot of corporate parties in the Reno area, like Sparks. Sparks has grown a ton in the last.
A lot of industries moved here. Yeah.
So now they might host a company party. We can't use the paddock.
When we flew in, it's like amazing because it just really goes to the north.
Yeah.
Reno Sparks, that North Valley is so big now out there.
Yeah, it's really expanded.
They got traffic here now.
It's crazy.
I saw some traffic.
It's nuts.
The only time you ever saw traffic before was it was snowing.
Right.
But I was like, there's actual traffic. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if their biggest little city still. I guess it still is the biggest little city. I don't know if
whatever that means. When I was a kid, I remember seeing that sign when we drove through Reno one time, and I was like, the biggest little city. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I
think it's just something you make up, and then you just go with it. So.
Yeah, true that. Well, so Ryland finishes out with 201, which I still say is a great game.
That's a good game.
Yeah. Trevor Ashby, who had a little string in the middle, he finished with 235.
Yep.
I say little, and it was a 7-bagger. Is that 7? Yeah, 7. My eyes, I'll tell you what, man, my eyes are gone.
There's a lot of light in here. There's a lot of glare in here.
Yeah.
So.
What else you got? Yeah, and the chat was commenting earlier on the quality. We do the best we can with the live stream. I know it's hard to see the scores and everything, but it's free to watch. That's my comeback. It is not. You do not have to subscribe to watch your Youth Bowler bowl. and that means that we're not collecting money to get maybe the biggest equipment out there. We don't,
It's low budget.
It's we're not ESPN.
It's high tech, low budget.
Exactly.
High skill. Blair knows what she's doing.
Yeah, we try at least. So Mr. Micah here. See, this is what I mean. Micah just gets, he started with a turkey, kind of lost his look a little bit. Open, split spare.
Just trying to walk him off the ledge.
Oh, Dawson?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Dawson, Dawson didn't have a great game that game for anyone Dawson period. Although, actually, he came back. He shot 160. It could have been had he lost it a little bit.
Yeah, he put one in the gutter in his, that strong mental game.
Yeah.
It wasn't there.
You gonna have a chat with him later about the strong mental game? I'm
going to have a chat with him as soon as I get out of this booth.
Yeah.
So, because he needs to quit trying to make the ball hook 50 boards when the ball hooked by itself.
Amen. Micah didn't think he got that, but he did.
Well, it wasn't exactly perfect. So he hit barely on the right-hand side of the pin, center of the pin.
Yeah.
So,
and he is Team USA, so he
perfectionist.
He is a perfectionist.
Yeah.
But you're a sponsor of Team USA as well. I love those jackets this year. Those stand out.
Yeah.
Those kids, who's on Team USA.
Looking at me like he's going to be counseled.
Dawson.
He is going to be counseled.
He knows. All right, we are coming to the end of Game 3. We're going to take a short break after this.
What'd you say?
I said I told you I had the best mental game.
We're going to it's not your mental game that's the problem. See, the ball will already hook a lot. So you just got to, push it down the lane.
I'm trying.
No, you're, trying to make it hook. Yeah.
Not the last 3 frames, I actually threw it pretty good.
Yeah? The last 3 frames you threw pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to come talk to you when you're bowling your next game.
I'm just looking for that gray one.
Hi, Dawson. Dawson getting schooled. All right, here's Mr. Joshua. Joshua did not want to end like that. But you know what? He got out of trouble. He only has to make a little spare here. Micah is consoling
we
himself.
went to the Ichiban, the Japanese
nice.
restaurant.
I've heard that's really good.
And Joshua and his dad were next to us. And Kathy was like, I think that's an SYC bowler. I'm like, I don't recognize him. But,
there's a lot of new bowlers this weekend.
So we were in one of those awkward things where it was a bunch of small little groups set around the table,
Oh, yeah.
So, of course, we didn't do anything to talk to each other.
That's what you do, right?
That's what you do in 2000, whatever year this is, 23.
23.
You just don't communicate with people.
Oh, jeez.
So.
All right. Well, that wraps up Game 3. Ken, thank you again for all that you do for the SYC. Thanks for giving back. You have a couple scholarships you give away tomorrow, and then you also give back to the scholarship fund. You make some awesome apparel for all the kids and the families. Those SYC mom T-shirts are walking around.
Well, thanks to the whole Storm family for making it possible. So,
cool.
If you guys weren't doing all this work, we wouldn't have an event to come and sell some apparel with that.
That's true.
So, you guys do a great job.
All right. Well, we will be right back. We're going to play a short commercial, actually, from I Am Bowling, and we'll be back.
Style is everything. You deserve to look as good as your game. I Am Bowling has the shirt and the style to set you apart. Express your personality, intimidate your opponents, or just represent. Most of all, compete in comfort. I Am Bowling, manufactured in the USA by American workers. As a bonus, $15 from every SYC Bowling jersey purchase goes to Ballard versus the Big C. I Am Bowling. Visit IamBowling. Sport is hard. It's you against the lane conditions. KEGEL is built for bowling. Making lane conditions consistent, that's what KEGEL is all about. They have a comprehensive library of oil patterns to help you with your game strategy. And KEGEL training clinics offer instruction to help you better your game. Visit kegel.net for information on upcoming SYC clinics. And remember, every SYC event features a new, never bowled upon sport pattern unique to each SYC competition. KEGEL, built for bowling. PBA Junior is the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And this year, PBA Junior is proud to announce a partnership with the Storm Youth Championships to offer the Never Give Up Scholarship to promote and inspire young athletes to always stay strong and never quit. Google PBA Junior for more information. A portion of the proceeds from this tournament benefit Ballard versus the Big C. For more information on how you can help, please visit Ballard versus the Sport is hard. It's you against the lane conditions. KEGEL is built for bowling. Making lane conditions consistent, that's what KEGEL is all about. They have a comprehensive library of oil patterns to help you with your game strategy. And KEGEL training clinics offer instruction to help you better your game. Visit kegel.net for information on upcoming SYC clinics. And remember, every SYC event features a new, never bowled upon sport pattern unique to each SYC competition. KEGEL, built for bowling. PBA Junior is the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And this year, PBA Junior is proud to announce a partnership with the Storm Youth Championships to offer the Never Give Up Scholarship to promote and inspire young athletes to always stay strong and never quit. Google PBA Junior for more information. A portion of the proceeds from this tournament benefit Ballard versus the Big C. For more information on how you can help, please visit Ballard versus the Sport is hard. It's you against the lane conditions. KEGEL is built for bowling. Making lane conditions consistent, that's what KEGEL is all about. They have a comprehensive library of oil patterns to help you with your game strategy. And KEGEL training clinics offer instruction to help you better your game. Visit kegel.net for information on upcoming SYC clinics. And remember, every SYC event features a new, never bowled upon sport pattern unique to each SYC competition. KEGEL, built for bowling. PBA Junior is the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And this year, PBA Junior is proud to announce a partnership with the Storm Youth Championships to offer the Never Give Up Scholarship to promote and inspire young athletes to always stay strong and never quit. Google PBA Junior for more information. A portion of the proceeds from this tournament benefit Ballard versus the Big C. For more information on how you can help, please visit Ballard versus the Sport is hard. It's you against the lane conditions. KEGEL is built for bowling. Making lane conditions consistent, that's what KEGEL is all about. They have a comprehensive library of oil patterns to help you with your game strategy. And KEGEL training clinics offer instruction to help you better your game. Visit kegel.net for information on upcoming SYC clinics. And remember, every SYC event features a new, never bowled upon sport pattern unique to each SYC competition. KEGEL, built for bowling. PBA Junior is the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And this year, PBA Junior is proud to announce a partnership with the Storm Youth Championships to offer the Never Give Up Scholarship to promote and inspire young athletes to always stay strong and never quit. Google PBA Junior for more information. A portion of the proceeds from this tournament benefit Ballard versus the Big C. For more information on how you can help, please visit Ballard versus the Sport is hard. It's you against the lane conditions. KEGEL is built for bowling. Making lane conditions consistent, that's what KEGEL is all about. They have a comprehensive library of oil patterns to help you with your game strategy. And KEGEL training clinics offer instruction to help you better your game. Visit kegel.net for information on upcoming SYC clinics. And remember, every SYC event features a new, never bowled upon sport pattern unique to each SYC competition. KEGEL, built for bowling. PBA Junior is the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And this year, PBA Junior is proud to announce a partnership with the Storm Youth Championships to offer the Never Give Up Scholarship to promote and inspire young athletes to always stay strong and never quit. Google PBA Junior for more information. A portion of the proceeds from this tournament benefit Ballard versus the Big C. For more information on how...
All right, we are back. I will be joined shortly by Mr. Darren Tang. Not we're sure where Darren is. He's hiding from me. We are in game number 4. Here's Darren. Darren is here.
I was doing my other job. I'm sorry.
What was your other? Oh yeah.
What,
okay.
talking to kids and parents?
Good. I don't know why the bowlers are not bowling in front of us.
Maybe someone went to the bathroom.
Well, I did. That was true. There was only a couple bathrooms in this giant building too, so it does
Really?
take a minute.
Oh, they're far away.
Yeah.
But there are many stalls.
Well, yeah. No, I know.
Many.
Of course.
A lot. All right, what's going on? Who's leading? Who's bowling good?
So we will look at scores. I know they're inputting them, but in the U18 boys, it was still our friend
Tyler.
Tyler. That's right.
Oh, the scoring pace came down a little bit.
Let's see if
in
we
game
have
3.
Yeah, let's see if we have game 3 in. Hang on. That was U15 girls. Bella is. Oh, look at this. But I don't know if
Oh, a tough game there.
Tyler's third game is not in yet. Elias went 240, 220, 190. So
Very interesting. So, all right, I'm going to give my analysis of what I think is happening and why the scoring pace is the way it is. So game 1, kids are nervous. Not really sure where to play. Getting comfortable. Game 2, lanes are still fairly similar to game 1. Kids are figuring out what's going on, what they need to do. I see a lot of kids waiting until the 10th frame of the first game to try something different, which I would definitely recommend trying something sooner when you feel like you're struggling immediately. But that's just kind of the case because you don't really want to try something different because you're scared. But at the same token, if it's not working, what's there to be afraid of? And now the lanes are starting to change. So now the kids can't do the same thing that they were doing game 2 when they found a little bit of success. And yeah, which is why I think the scores are coming down a little bit. But I would expect game 4 to either be pretty similar or a little bit higher. And that is your vitamin D tank analysis for the scoring pace.
Good
games 1
analysis.
through 3.
Whenever this pair decides to bowl, we are going to be watching Bethany Strong, who's in second in the U18 girls.
All right.
I'm going to go down and see what's going on because I don't know why they haven't started.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Sounds good. I will be here to entertain in the meantime. Avery. Let me read some comments. I'm sorry, I'm playing Pokemon Go at the same time. How can your boy entertain? How many people do we have watching? Is there a number? I don't know if I see any viewer counts. This is a software that I'm not familiar with. Go Shelby Unger. Where is Shelby bowling? Is she going to be on our pair here? Or is she on a different pair? So 39 and 40 is going to be a little bit behind here. And unfortunately, they do have a full 6. So Blair is back with the update.
Okay, supposedly we don't have a full roster, and they're waiting on one of the bowlers to be zeroed out. So the good news is there's less of them, so they'll bowl quicker, but I'm not sure what took so long. There you have it.
It's not their fault.
It is not their fault.
It's never the bowler's fault.
There's Miss Sapphire No Fuente over on 38. She was bowling good. I don't remember. She had.
Not so good game 2. Or game 3 is not in yet,
Game
though.
3 is not in.
So she was +8 after 2.
Yeah. This is the time when the scores are being input that we can't really look at scores. So we'll give them a minute to.
Yeah. I was watching Caitlin down there for a little bit. I was actually talking to her dad. They're still trying to figure out college and stuff.
Oh.
So that's always an adventurous time.
Stressful time.
And being as talented as she is, I'm sure a lot of schools are grabbing at her, and really up to her to figure out where she wants to go, where she belongs. And I guess what makes you happiest, you got to go to the school that you want to go to.
Well, and the girls have that extra NCAA versus club school choice that the boys sometimes are jealous of. But
yes and no.
Yeah, I mean, it's
there's a lot more freedom that comes with not bowling for an NCAA program.
Yeah. There was a young lady checking in yesterday. She is a senior, great bowler, and we were talking to her dad, and they are deciding. They live in a kind of central part of the country, and so he said that it's really going to depend on the school she wants to go to, where it's located, because if it's an NCAA school that doesn't have a lot of bowling opportunities around it, then it makes sense. But if there's one that is close to home and they have a lot of bowling tournaments that she could bowl in, she's like, I'd rather bowl college and be able to bowl.
Yeah,
So.
she just wouldn't be able to. I mean, she could bowl, she just can't accept the money, right?
Right. Well, sometimes they're in the season, they're restricted, I think.
I don't understand that. You know, I
Yeah.
would think that you would want more competitive reps because that's going to help the player grow and develop. I don't understand why the NCAA. I mean, I don't really know anything about NCAA rules and things like that because it never applied to me. But I just, from a competitor standpoint, I don't really understand why they do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I know all of the. There's so many rules, right? And sometimes when there's a lot of rules, like I'm a fan of structure. I like structure. But when you start adding rule on top of rule on top of rule,
They have to make sense.
yes,
And when they start to come into question, I think that's when things need to be revisited.
right. And when you feel like you can't do anything without asking, I'm not always sure that's right either.
Right.
Because then you're just afraid.
Yeah.
So.
You
Anyway.
don't want to break any rules. You don't want to let your team down because of a decision that you may have made that really shouldn't have been a problem in the first place.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of college opportunities out there, though. So it's not just. We were talking about it earlier because George Abood, his son, is bowling at St. Ambrose, and he's been talking to parents, and there's so many opportunities out there for kids nowadays. It's incredible.
It is a good thing.
Yeah.
It does pay for the schooling, so that is definitely a big plus.
Yes. All right, so the young ladies, they are trying to play to the right, which I think is the right place to play. So
Yeah, it was a close spare.
it was.
A lot of the girls typically do play further to the right just because of rev rates and things like
Yeah.
that. So I would expect some of the girls to have a little more success than the guys. Just strictly based off of what they're comfortable doing. Oh. That's something you don't really see every day. Well, I guess not super
What?
uncommon. I just saw one go in the left gutter.
Oh, wow. That is something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can be tricky. Left gutter on short
Left
ball.
gutter. Yeah, it was a little left off the hand.
So Miss Bethany has been working a lot on her game and a lot on her mental game, her parents told
Okay,
me.
yeah.
That's what she's really been focused on the most.
Can I make a pun?
Yes.
She has gotten off to a strong start.
Oh, that's so punny, Darren.
10 back, 10 back.
You're
There's
so
nothing
punny.
stronger.
Let's see some bios.
She does throw it very well, though. I like how her rev rate matches up with her speed. That is very uncommon for females. Usually a little more speed dominant. So I think that's definitely going to give her a bit of an edge because the ball's going to match up a little more often.
So Brooke Pabst here on lane 39. She's from Cape Coral, Florida.
We need to talk about the bowlers more often.
We're working on it. I'm pulling up some bios.
All right, I like
So
it.
she's from Cape Coral, Florida, and she's bowling. Now, granted, she did just move from Minnesota to Florida last year.
Okay.
So I could see why she wanted to come back to the West Coast. But Florida has to be like one of the furthest places to travel this weekend.
100%.
I would say.
We're almost as west as possible.
Yeah. Favorite pro bowler is Kyle Troop. Sorry, Darren.
I like that. It's okay. Kyle's a good dude. He let me win a title.
And she has lots of friends and family that like to watch her bowl. So
Awesome. You got to have that
Shout out
support
to that.
system.
Let's see what else. Let's see who else we got.
It takes a zoo.
Richard.
The whole village.
Catherine did not fill out her bio. I told people at check-in that I was going to give away something for people that actually filled out their bio
Well,
this trip.
if they don't fill out the bio, we should make some stuff up.
Okay, you can make stuff up.
All right, where? Where are we looking?
We're looking at.
Pull one up for me, and then I'll go through the blanks. I'll fill in the blanks.
Well, hold on. I have to look up this bowler's name. I've seen her face before, but I don't know her. I should give you this sheet. You should be in charge of the bowlers.
I'm not very good about matching names to faces. That's one of my
So
very
this
few
is
weaknesses.
she's bowler number D. Number D.
Number D.
Avriana Thomas, I believe,
Okay.
on lane 39.
All right.
I'm going with that. So let's see if she filled out a photo. If she did not, you're on for Avriana. You're on. All right,
I'm
so
on.
we'll pull it up.
All right. So let's
Age?
see. Where do we guess she's from? Oh, age?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't like making assumptions. I don't like this game anymore. It's never safe to assume.
Well, you could assume the favorite pro bowler on her.
Favorite pro bowler. She looks like an AJ Johnson kind of.
Oh, I can
Kinda
see that.
fan.
I was
Yeah,
just thinking
yeah.
you could claim all of them and say
No, I
Darren
won't do
King.
that.
Darren
No.
King? No? All right.
I'm cocky enough in too many areas of being out here, so I need to be humble somewhere. Can I ask her who her favorite bowler is?
Yeah, you can.
May I ask who your favorite bowler is? Both. One of each. Or only one. You can pick one. Okay. That's a good one. Ooh, curveball. Didn't see that coming. All right. Thank you. Okay, so for the ladies, she said she picked. She technically picked 3.
Okay,
So
all right.
for the women's side, she picked Danielle McEwen.
That's
Not a
good
bad choice.
That's a good
Not
choice.
Bad, not bad.
I
She's
would
okay.
take Danielle.
Yeah, she's all right.
She's bowling in Sweden right now.
Yeah. And then for the men's side, she picked Belmo
Okay.
or myself.
Wow. See,
I didn't have. Yeah,
You
I could have. Yeah, I could have. But yeah, Belmo's a tough one.
we do have a fan watching that knows Avriana. She's from New York, so I would not have pegged New York.
Yeah, I
either.
was gonna guess Midwest.
Me too. Yeah, I was. Bailey. Let's see if we have a Bailey bio. What was the last name?
Bailey, I don't know.
Bailey.
Uh,
Bailey
Turkhurst?
I don't think I have a bio for her either.
Oh, here we go. Making up stories. Does anybody in the chat know Bailey?
Bailey? Any Bailey?
Any
fans?
Bailey fans? Well, considering there's only 30 people in the chat, that's going to be a bit of a
that's not
stretch.
true. We have 91. 'cause
91. Somebody told me 30.
We're across stream, so if you're watching in one
I
area,
see.
yeah, there's like 100 people watching.
I should be streaming this on my platform too.
Yeah, we should have. Although then you'd get hate because the quality's not good. Because that's what I dealt with earlier.
It's all right. They know that I don't care, and if they give it to me, I give it back.
Yeah, well, I want the trolls to come back when Darren's sitting
You
here.
want the trolls to come back?
No,
Oh,
I don't. No.
I like to play the game. D-Ting likes to play the game.
Yeah. I put someone in timeout today. I've never done that.
I like that.
Yeah, right?
I just want to make it clear out there for those of you that don't really know me. Blair knows me. I like to joke a lot.
Yeah.
So if it sounds like I'm being real cocky half the time, I probably don't mean it.
We're very sarcastic.
I just like to have a good time, make people laugh.
And we're very thankful that people come to the SYC.
Yes,
the families
absolutely.
That are here.
I am
Yes.
very appreciative of the parents because growing up, the kids don't really appreciate what their
Amen.
parents do for them. And I was one of those kids. It's just something that you don't really understand growing up because your parents brought you into this world. You had no idea what to expect, and now you were given a gift. Being able to play a game, and my parents brought me all over the country to do it, and I am very appreciative of that.
What do you think? I only ask this because one of the prominent youth bowlers, I would say, posted on their Instagram story the other day. They did like a Q&A,
Okay,
and one of the questions came in.
was it Caitlin?
It was Caitlin.
Okay, I think I saw something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always see the Q&As, and then I see all the little bubbles at the top. I'm like, I'm not swiping. I'm
Right.
not reading through all these.
So I think it's very interesting. Caitlin Abagano, one of the other kids, asked her, "How much do you spend on traveling to tournaments all year long?" And her answer was very great. She said, "I don't know. I should know, but I'm very thankful to my parents for. I know how much it costs a lot of money, and I just am not aware." Right?
I actually talk to her dad pretty often when I see them at events, and I kind of have a decent idea of how they were raised and and their values, their morals, and I think they were raised very well. You know, things aren't sugar-coated with them. The dad's very straightforward. And they actually work with Mark Baker.
Yeah.
And Mark is very much the same way. He doesn't sugarcoat things. He'll tell you straight up, you know, if you suck, you suck. But at the same time, he's going to come back with, this is how we're going to get better, which is what I love about Mark. And I was kind of raised in a very similar manner. You know, my dad was pretty hard on me. He was he was pretty strict.
Yeah.
And I don't have things sugar-coated either for myself, so I understand that. And I really appreciate and respect that because you grow some thick skin, you get out into the world, and you know, things don't bother you as much as maybe some other people, and it's due to those parental figures or
Right.
parents doing
you just
doing
don't
those
realize
things.
it. Yeah. So I thought it was interesting, and it made me think, like, what % of these kids actually realize how much?
Not very many, I would think.
I don't think it's. I
But
don't think it's many.
I also don't think I don't think the kids should know.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because
yeah.
now that's another weight on their shoulders. If
Right.
they don't perform, they feel like, oh, my dad's wasting money
Right.
on me
Agreed.
being here.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. And that's just not. You don't want to go into an event having more on your plate than you need.
Absolutely, and I think you should. I think exactly like Caitlin said, right? She's appreciative of her parents, but she admits, she's like, I don't know, like, which I think is good, right? Like, you know, it's a lot, but you
Yeah.
don't know the exact amount,
Right.
and there's plenty of time to know how much life costs, right? Like adulting is real, guys.
Yeah, just being grateful for what you have is
Key.
kind of a lost art. Not really an art, but just something that's kind of missing in
It
our
is
generation. In this
gratefulness.
day and age.
It's true. Gratitude. People are commenting in the chat that 3 and 4 is down.
I saw a lot of pairs down there. They were. Is there supposed to be that many bowlers on that pair? Because when I was down there were like 10 kids on that pair.
Probably not. I don't know.
And we got some dead pairs on the high end.
We
and
do.
1 and 2. So
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on down there.
Yeah. Well, 3 and 4. I did text Leanne. She's coming to check it out, I hope.
Well, another one for Bethany. She's got a really good game going so far. 4 out of 5. A little 7 spare action in the third.
Her last shot, she just got a little in, but it still was on. She has this
high
really
flush.
good line.
Yeah. She's playing the lanes right.
Yeah.
I mean, reflected in the scores. Yeah, you do the right things on the lanes, and the scoreboard will show, typically.
So someone in the chat knows Bailey and said she's only been bowling a year.
Okay. Nice.
Kudos to her for
Yeah.
coming out and trying SYC.
Thanks for coming.
That's right.
Hopefully she made some friends, or she's going to make some friends. And,
Learns a
you know,
little bit.
I know a lot of people because of bowling, and I have some lifelong friends. I mean, up to this point, at least.
Amen.
Not
Right?
the
Yeah.
oldest, but,
You haven't lost any friends yet?
no, I've lost plenty of friends. You know, you got to keep your circle small.
There's a Goody has a question for you.
Goody.
Our friend Goody.
Uncle Goody.
Who's the fastest in liking a new ball, you or Mikey?
I feel like it depends on the ball.
Is that skewed now because Mikey has a pro shop?
Well, I have a group chat between him and Mr. Christopher Vi.
Oh,
And
never heard of those guys.
We are brutally honest with the balls that come out and what we think. And yeah, I think it's good to have these little group chats amongst friends / staffers because we can kind of learn the balls faster
right.
that way
Yeah.
and get
And
different
you don't
opinions.
have to worry, right?
Yeah, and all three of us throw it very different. You know,
Yeah.
Chris is two-handed, Mikey's one-handed, but he's got, you know, his ranges are ridiculous. And then me, I'm kind of like that power stroker type now. So we get a lot of different viewpoints. We are fairly analytical. So we break the bowling balls down pretty quick.
I have to give, obviously your YouTube channel is fantastic, and we give you kudos a lot. But your brother's videos, the new ones that they are doing for the pro shop,
Oh yeah,
they're fantastic.
Spot on. I
Oh
love
my
'em.
gosh, it's the way that if you guys don't follow TV Bowling Supply, the way they break down new bowling balls is great.
yeah. We just do things in a way that how we see it.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of other people don't see it that way. So hopefully we're helping educate people on the new equipment, and we're not just gonna say, you got the typical ball reviews over
Right,
the years.
right.
Oh yeah, it's the earliest. It reads the mid lane. It's It's got the most back end, and it's so continuous. Like, if you put all those things in one ball, that doesn't make any sense. It can't do all of those things. It cannot.
What?
So I'm, and that's going to be specific to what you're bowling on. So at that given time, that's what the ball's doing. Okay, cool. But it's not going to do that all the time.
True that.
One single bowling ball is not going to do the same exact thing on everything you bowl on. So you can't tell the people that that is what this ball is, because that is not what it's not, or that is not what it is. So we do our best to tell you where it fits, or where we think it fits, and how it, might roll for certain kinds of styles, and how it fits a player's style. And we just try to give as much information as possible, and then let you guys at home decide: is this ball for me?
I love it. I want to ask you another question. So we have Stephanie Hong over here.
Mhm.
We have Bailey.
Yes.
I don't know where Bella is, but she's somewhere.
I think she's a little further. We might see her the last game.
Two-handed young ladies.
Yes.
They're entering the chat, as Barrett would say.
They're entering the chat.
Yeah.
Welcome to the chat.
How long do you think before we see a two-hander on the PWBA?
On the women's tour.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I know Maggie Toma. Yes. She might be the first.
She's fantastic.
She's really good. She made the junior team this year.
Yeah, she's bowled some SYCs too.
I
so.
don't know how old she is. I think she bowls in college.
She's at Arkansas State.
So if she decides to go on tour, she
Yeah.
might be the first. But, I think that's the new wave of bowlers that's going to dominate the women's tour.
Absolutely.
A lot of people say, I've had some comments saying that rev rate hurts the girls on their tour. I don't believe that. Jordan Richard just won Player of the Year. She's one of the higher rev rates. She can hook the lane a little more.
She's pretty good.
Again,
she's got some touch.
Yeah, she's great. She's had a really good year. She won a bunch of times, and I don't believe that it's the style of play that is the problem, because Daria hooks it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think her game would be great to dominate that tour, and maybe it's just not doing the right thing at the right time kind of deal for her.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a problem. I don't think rev rate is ever going to hurt. So with the two-handed girls coming out, I think they're going to have a huge advantage. There's going to be time. Danielle's one of the best female bowlers to ever bowl.
Absolutely.
Or will be. But she doesn't have a huge rev rate, and there are going to be times where these two-handed girls, while may not be as good of a spare shooter or may not be as accurate as Danielle, they're going to run her over when it's there.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to strike, they're going to run circles around her.
Well, I think it's you bring up Daria. Daria lives in Utah now. And it's interesting to watch Daria. She works really hard on her game. She bowls a lot. But I think the truest disadvantage for the women's tour, which this is, again, just my opinion, right? And I know very little, so take it with a grain of salt, you guys. But the PWBA tour is a short season. And then when it ends, there aren't that many women's only fields outside of the tour, right? So then they go and bowl against the men, or they bowl a PBA regional, they bowl whatever local, Verity is a great example. She bowls everything she possibly can in Florida. So then they come back every season and they're like, wait, I have to bowl only against women again. And women break down the lanes completely different than the men do. So I think that's for a higher rev rate player right now, while they're in the minority. If they become the majority, then it changes everything.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's a big misunderstanding with bowling on the tour too. It's not the patterns that make things difficult. It's how the lanes break down.
Right.
I know we're kind of going on a different tangent here, but it's something that I definitely want to touch on, and I talk about this all the time. Bowling on tour, it's not, are the PBA patterns harder than the PWBA patterns, or
we get that a lot where they want to compare you guys.
It's not comparable because of the way the lanes break down, and they build the patterns according to the fields.
Right.
And
the players.
Yeah, they can dictate the scoring pace. Like if they want 215 to be the scoring pace, they're going to try to make 215 the scoring pace for each respective field.
Right.
And it's just not the same. Like if we bowled on the same thing, let's say we bowl on the same exact pattern, but a women's field and then a men's field.
Right.
The scoring paces could be drastically different.
Absolutely.
Because the guys are going to destroy the front of the lane. We're going to get left faster. We're going to do a lot of different things. And there's going to be some cases where that's a good thing, and there's going to be others where it's a terrible thing.
Right.
And that's just how it is. Bowling on the men's tour is a different animal, just like bowling on the women's tour.
Yeah. Yeah, 100. Yeah, and you see that at the Lucy, right?
Yeah,
When
it's not comparable. So
the-
there's
yeah.
actually we built the TOC in Florida one year, and I heard rumors of this guy that made it out of the field, out of the PTQ. He averages 240 in league. He finished last that week, averaged 170. You're telling me, your average league bowler averaging 240 is going to come to a professional event and average 70 pins worse?
yeah.
That's
that's
just
just-
the difference.
right, that's
between,
how it is,
Bowling
yeah.
league and bowling. We're going pair to pair. It's like bowling at a different bowling center sometimes. You can bowl on one pair, have a great look, go to the next pair, and it's not even close to the same.
Well, I think, last month Kyle was talking. Kyle Sherman was talking about the levels, right? And like, it's almost like a video game, right? We have kids, so we'll compare it to that, right? Where you level up in youth bowling, right?
Yeah.
So you get really good in your local league, and then you level up, and you go and bowl tournaments, and then you level up, and you go and bowl maybe an SYC or Junior Gold, and you get really good, and then you go bowl college, right?
Yep.
And you feel like you're at the top of your game in college. You're on All-American team. You're like, you're it. And then you go to the tour. And sometimes that does not translate.
And now you're back at the bottom.
Yeah.
Especially now with the PTQs coming back, you're not
Oh,
automatically in the field. It just makes it so hard for the rookies to do
Break
anything.
through,
You know,
yeah.
you have to make it through the PTQ. You have to have a good event, and then winning Rookie of the Year, just kind of depends on how many PTQs did you make it out of, and how well did you bowl when you made it out.
Yeah.
And that makes it really hard. When I was a rookie, there were no PTQs. I got lucky. I was in that era where they just took
wasn't a lot,
they took whoever wanted to sign up and then went from there. And I got really lucky. I made a show my first season, and then I was pretty up there in the points, enough to where I never had to bowl a PTQ except for the TOC. Which I'm very grateful that I don't have to bowl anymore, because that's the most stressful tournament ever. I don't care what anyone says. I can miss the cut at the U.S. Open 1,000 more times. The TOC PTQ was the most stressful tournament of my life.
You're going to have some major competition for content this season, because who has to bowl the PTQs?
Who's that?
Brad Miller.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
I feel for Brad. It's just been a really tough year for whatever reason for a lot of our players on Storm staff.
It was, yeah.
Like a lot of us were hurt.
Brad was hurt. He
Yes.
got hurt for a minute, and then he had, there was something else that happened, because he was just talking about it last month. He's really honest about it. He's like up front, because that's how Brad is.
Yeah,
He's
Brad's
like you.
he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not like me. I'm a lot cooler, but.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's the part where I'm just being,
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
joking.
fine.
We're making
You're good.
jokes.
Yeah.
I love Brad. He's
Yeah.
one of my favorite guys.
Brad is way cool, and but he said he's gonna vlog it. He's gonna vlog the PTQ this year.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he makes it through all of them. We all know Brad is a fantastic bowler.
Unbelievable.
He was basically, top 10, top 15 bowler for the last couple of years before this one.
And he's smart. He's really smart about the game.
He is.
So it's just, like you said, there's some stretches that happen. And
Yeah, you have your ups and downs.
Yeah.
The most important thing to do when you're bowling well is just to ride the wave.
Yeah.
Because you never know how long it's going to last, how big it's going to be, or when it's going to crash.
Yeah. Well,
Because it will crash at some point.
The story is out there to be written, where Brad Miller starts in a PTQ
And then wins his first tournament.
wins his first
I would love
tournament.
to see that.
That would be
Yeah.
an unbelievable. I mean, it's there.
That might be the happiest I'll ever be for somebody winning.
Yeah.
Either him or my brother.
Yeah.
Those are two people that I want to see
I would like to see
win
your brother
really badly.
win.
Yeah. Them two or Nick Pate. 'Cause, I'm really good friends with Nick. And
Yep.
we're kind of similar. Styles are fairly similar. We
Yeah.
fit the same mold on
Yeah.
the tour. We're really good friends. So I'd really like to see all three of them win at some point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sooner than later. But yeah, I think Brad, if he can get the mental side and the emotional side kind of a little more in check,
Yeah.
I think he's going to be very dangerous, because he almost ran the gauntlet in Virginia to win his first title. The top 3 players on our tour, he almost beat them all to win his first title.
That's insane.
I think Nick almost did the same thing.
I think he did too.
He lost to
remember that.
Belmo.
Yeah.
I think didn't Brad lose to Belmo as well?
Brad
on
did
Chameleon?
lose to Belmo.
Yeah, he bowled Simo, beat Simo,
Yeah.
beat EJ.
I mean,
and
you
then-
just have some, it's like tennis, right? I like watching tennis,
Uh-huh.
right? So during the years of Federer and Nadal, there were a lot of really great tennis players that came through that lost to Federer and
It's
Nadal.
just so hard when you have players that dominant.
Right, like Belmo, right? So
Belmo-
you have
EJ this year, and then Simo was
Yeah.
basically ruining everyone's chances to make the show.
Right, you're in this era of
It's hard to win right now.
it's
ridiculous.
really hard. Yeah.
And we don't have enough events.
Yes.
We only have 16 maybe chances a year to win a PBA Tour title.
Right. Which
And-
is why it's so like you talked about it yesterday in
Yeah.
the Q&A. Like, you know, when you win a title, there's no words to even go with it.
Yeah, you reach the apex of the game, and you can't really describe it. And then, even the one I won, those aren't considered titles right now. They're just really big regionals. They're
Yeah.
regionals that pay the same. And that we had that summer tour for a little bit, and I was lucky enough to win it the last year we had one, and that was a nice little bonus. But I mean, we haven't had that since, and there's a lot of guys that won the events this year that don't get rewarded for titles for whatever reason. I don't know exactly why.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the bowlers enough, but which I apologize to any parents watching. But Brooke throws the ball unbelievable.
She
I've been
does.
watching her, and
For 1 year?
No, Bailey's
She-
1
oh,
year.
Bailey's the
the
1 year.
two-hander is 1 year, which is impressive too. Brooke, her roll, she is not having a great game on this.
No, I think she's just
Pattern?
a little too far left.
And I think she needs more surface. She's throwing a
Yeah.
supernova,
Either or.
but
I don't mind the lack of surface because that helps you get through the front of the lane a
Yeah.
little better, but I think she's just a little too far
look
left.
at that roll though.
Yeah, she does it very good.
So anyway,
I agree.
shout out to Brooke.
You're right. We're not. I even said it. We need to talk about the bowlers
Yeah,
more.
but
and then
we are
started going
telling
off
good stories.
on
Right
it.
now,
It
most
is.
of
I
it.
think it's useful information.
Yeah.
It's good for the people to know what we're talking about.
No one has yelled at us yet. Usually, if they are mad, they yell at us, so they're enjoying you. So
If they yell at us, we just drop the band hammer.
yeah, exactly. We'll call out the chat.
Actually, yeah, Bailey throws it very good for
1
the
year.
amount of time she's been bowling.
1
Yeah,
year.
that's very good.
Yeah.
The game is moving a lot faster. The juniors are
These
picking things up
kids.
so quick, and
It's YouTube.
social media is.
Everyone watches YouTube all the time, and then they just absorb it. All right, Darren, you're stuck here for another game. I'm sorry to tell you.
It's all good.
Game
I was
5.
prepared. You actually kicked me out a lot sooner than I thought I'd be.
Well, we're
gone.
gonna take a really short break, but you're staying for the last game.
Sounds good.
We should see a Bella sighting.
We will. I think she's going to be on 33 and 4.
Okay,
maybe.
good, cool,
And then
perfect.
we have Caitlin on 37 and 38.
So stick around.
We have a lot of we have Sapphire over here. I think on 40, either 41 and 2 or 43 and 4. So
Yeah.
a lot of the girls that are up there in the standings are going to be bowling right here.
Yeah, so you want to stick around. We'll be right back. We're gonna have a message from KEGEL.
Sport is hard. It's you against the lane conditions. KEGEL is built for bowling. Making lane conditions consistent, that's what KEGEL is all about. They have a comprehensive library of oil patterns to help you with your game strategy. And KEGEL training clinics offer instruction to help you better your game. Visit kegel.net for information on upcoming SYC clinics. And remember, every SYC event features a new, never bowled upon sport pattern unique to each SYC competition. KEGEL, built for bowling. PBA Junior is the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And this year, PBA Junior is proud to announce a partnership with the Storm Youth Championships to offer the Never Give Up Scholarship to promote and inspire young athletes to always stay strong and never quit. Google PBA Junior for more information. A portion of the proceeds from this tournament benefit Ballard versus the Big C. For more information on how you can help, please visit Ballard versus Storm Youth Championship is proud to partner with Make-A-Wish Utah to continue to make dreams come true for critically ill children. $5 from every entry from every SYC tournament this year will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation Utah for dreams, for hopes, for the spark that, for a child, can mean anything is possible. Big donations might get the big mentions, but it's your donation that's at the heart. Now, we're in between games. As our competitors change lanes, we'd like to thank the following sponsors. When you combine knowledge, along with technical innovation, quality craftsmanship, and uncompromising integrity for the game, that's Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. High performance from your equipment. Shot after shot after shot. Storm Bowling. No matter your skill level, visit stormbowling.com and find out where your game fits. Storm balls, bags, shoes, apparel, and more. Storm Bowling, proud presenting sponsor of the Storm Youth
All right,
Championship.
we're back. Darren's here. We don't really have 39 and 40 yet. I don't know why, but
It was a little behind.
37 and 38 and 41 and 42 are starting, so we're starting. Why not? Game 5.
Let's go. Final game of the short pattern.
Now at the SYC, do you remember they get medals?
They do, yes, I remember.
Gold, silver, bronze, and
Uh-huh.
then overall they get medals. And of course,
Yep.
the champion is all 15 games.
The big old trophy.
The big trophy. Big Nevada trophy. It is a big trophy. Nevada is a big
I
state.
saw them. They're cool.
Yeah.
I'm sad I never got a chance to win one of those.
True that. I was talking about how cool their banners are.
Yeah,
Did the tours you bowled on when you were a youth have banners?
we did. They were.
lucky.
My mom actually made them
Oh, that's
for our
awesome.
tour. Yeah,
That's way cool.
for a long while. Yeah, they were cloth, and we put stars on them for every win. So kind of like how you have the
Ah.
SYC logo on there. Does it
Yeah.
have each like location on there too for each win? Or does it just say? Is it just the Storm?
I
Youth
think it's
Championship
just the
logo?
Storm Youth Championship.
That would be really cool if it had
Yeah,
each location
I can't
on
remember
there.
if it does or not. It may. We used to put the location on the badge. We really like changing it. We actually were talking about that earlier with Kenny Keegan, but it became so tricky because the kids like to buy the jersey they want to buy, and they don't want to be stuck in the location that they're in.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah,
Like bowling SYC Reno from it with an SYC
Nashville jersey
yeah,
or something.
be
Yeah.
very-
Yeah, because we had
odd.
there was someone wearing a beach one. That one was a Coastal Classic one. But if
Okay.
you like the beach, you just want that jersey.
Sure.
So, like the Cindy Lou Who jersey
I
over
think
there.
actually that's really cool. You just make a jersey based on the location and not put the actual location on there.
Yeah,
And then
right,
it's-
they
you
could-
have the theme. You know where it's from,
Yeah,
but you could also wear it other places and not feel awkward about it.
yeah. But we might actually do the cities on the badges on the banners because
On the banners would be really cool.
we
Although you
wanna
can't see them
remember.
from here.
Yeah, we keep track of it. You know, the gold.
The gold one's really cool. Yeah, I lost you. Looks like it's the D-Tank show now. All right, so our bowlers are getting started with Game 5. Another two-handed female bowler. We love to see that. Well, some of us love to see that. Some of us don't because, honestly, I don't know. I do know, but I don't really want to get into politics of things. How is Bella doing? I'm not really sure how she bowled the last game, but she was leading after 3 games in the U15, I believe. Blair is having some technical issues. Could be equipment failure. Still can't hear you. Uh-oh. Well, looks like anything that she wants to say, you're going to have to hear through me. I am on. Let's pull up some bios. I might as well talk about some of the bowlers like we keep trying to do. I'm going to tell Caitlin, you better fill out a bio next time or I'm going to start making stuff up. Bang. Oh, wait. I hear it now, I think.
Can you hear me?
Oh, it was like in and out. I think something might be loose on the headset. Because when you were putting it down, I heard it. Well, we do have Janessa Crawford right here in front of us on the live stream. Featured pair, daughter of Warren Crawford, NorCal legend. I believe Warren has a couple of regional titles to his credit. He also made a run at the World Series of Bowling when he was here on one of the patterns. I think he almost made one of the shows. So, still can't hear you. A little bit of bowling legacy right here. As far as my knowledge, bowlers here, it's very limited, but I am familiar with some of the California kids. Two hands on the future. Nice shot on lane 41. 10 back. Zen ball good. We have a new Zen ball good in the gold label. I like that one a lot. Pretty purple ball. Rolls good too. It's always a bonus when a ball looks good and rolls good. The only problem is it doesn't smell good. It just smells like a bowling ball. Oh yeah, Brooklyn. We love Brooklyns. I'm assuming I'm not allowed to plug my own merch here because I'm not going to go into that. All right. No good. No good. No good. There's a double for a Janessa. That's a good start. Can't have a much better one. Whoa, was that an original Inferno over there? I haven't seen one of those in forever. Nice shot there from Sherry Ann. She bowled out of Classic Bowl in Daly City, I believe. Our photographer, Kim Power, was taking some photos of us, and I'm making fun of Blair. I'm enjoying this, and Blair's hating it because she has 10 more games to live stream after this, and if she can't figure this out, she's SOL. No headset. I hope you have an extra one. Uh-oh. See, we need a bigger budget for production. You can't complain about the quality of the streams if we don't have money. And this is a junior event. It's not a paid subscription, so we don't have the funds to improve the quality of the stream. So please don't complain about what we got, because we're bringing our best to you, and this is all we've got. Oh, I heard it again. Yeah. Every time it just bangs against the table. We've got a pinch. A pinched nerve. The headphones got a pinched nerve. Let's see what's going on. Looks like Caitlin has a double as well. She's crushing the short pattern, but she always does because she likes to play pretty straight. Let me find some other bowlers we can talk up because we talked about her enough. I do have a story about, I bowled a doubles tournament with her, but we'll only talk about it if we run out of things to talk about, which we shouldn't. Schrader's greater at spares. Nice 6-10 conversion on 37. You're going to need some help there on 38. Need a lot of help. That's a tough spare. Not a common one. Ooh, almost a triple there on 39. Not quite. But we want to keep it in play. Hit the pocket. Those are key factors in bowling 200 games. Hitting the pocket, picking up your spares. Darren will have to carry the show now. No problem. No problem at all. I looked a little slow on lane 40. Good break there, tripping up the 3-pin. Only leaving the 10. Covering the spare on 39. Very nice. Still has a 279 clip. I mean, we're still a ways away from potentially 279, but it's there. Got to hook a little unlucky on 37. Streeter is greater, but we do need to keep it online. 10-pin spare, we love that. Spares are underrated, folks. They will always be underrated. They're not appreciated as much as they should be. And even if you feel like you're a good spare shooter, you can always practice more. It's all about repetitions. Autopilot. You get up there, you see it, you know where to stand, you know where to look, you get up there and execute the shot. Don't want to think any more or any less. You know what to do, get up there, go do it. If you don't know what to do, definitely don't get up there and don't do it yet. You got to commit. If you're not committed to a shot, there's no way that it could be the best it could possibly be. We have Kia Dunbar here. I like the jersey. Nice USA themed. Maybe a touch right. This might be a zone too far to the right. I think a cover stock that might be a little too weak as well. Not giving her a lot of miss room. The value in choosing the right ball to throw would be very valuable in giving yourself a little bit more room to hit the pocket. But again, this is a youth event, and for a lot of these bowlers, it is their first time, so we can't expect them all to make the best decisions possible because they're all still learning. But we have to remember that. Yeah, I love it. I'm used to it. I'm not getting spammed with what bowling ball should I get questions in the chat, though, so that's a little bit of a different pace. Nice, we love Brooklyn's. I'm going to keep saying it. Oh, that's for a three-bagger, the front three. A triple-bagger. Oh, baby, a triple! It was a very convincing strike on lane 43. I didn't really see it, but I heard it. I do remember seeing Ariana Araujo in Ohio, SYC Ohio. She won. Yeah, I do remember her bowling pretty well there. So that's another two-handed phenom up and coming. I know we have some Bella fans in the chat. Where is she? 33 and 4. I think she just left the big four. Not what we want to see. Not what we want to see. But what we do want to see is a spare. It is very doable in this building. For whatever reason, if you hit them light, let's say you go for the 610. If you hit it skinny on the left side, sometimes the 6-pin will bounce off the wall, hit the ball, and then get back on the lane and take out the other 2 pins. I've seen that a lot of times here. And that's actually how I try to draw it up when I shoot splits here. And that's just the advantage of knowing. It's like course knowledge when you're playing golf. You know where to hit it. Same thing in bowling. It's center knowledge. I don't know. It doesn't sound as cool as course knowledge, but there are a couple of nuances here and there about bowling centers that you should definitely try to pay attention to, where you can hit certain parts of the pocket to strike more, or in this case hit different parts of the count to increase your chances of picking up splits. I had something I was going to say, but I forgot because I went off on this split tangent. I just keep getting distracted.
I'm looking up a new.
Oh my goodness! I don't know if that hurt any of your guys' ears, but that just destroyed mine. Oh my. Blair's abusing me here. Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so this is game 5 in the block. So ideally, as a player on the PBA Tour with some experience bowling on short patterns, at this point, this is where we're managing ball speed. We're getting steep with our angles, which means we're throwing it to the right pretty quick because that's where our break point really wants to be on this 36-foot pattern. The suggestion of 31 says we should have our break points at 5, but if I can get my ball to hook off of 1, 2, 3, that is going to give me optimal angle into the pocket, so I'm trying to throw it there. If I miss a little bit of left and it still picks up and hits the pocket, that's great. That means I have a little bit of left, but usually I'm trying to get into a ball that's going to hook off the gutter no matter what, aka it can't go in, but in my experience, I can make anything go in unless it's hooking and getting offline in the first 2 feet. But that's why we're throwing stronger balls in the shorter patterns. We want our balls to lose axis rotation as it's getting down the lane much quicker than, let's say, the medium or the long pattern. And that is so we can control the last 24 feet, which is all buff, all friction. So that is the play update from T-Tang. A lot of the girls are going to be playing a little straighter, a little farther left, because that's where there's going to be some hold. And typically girls don't have to go away from it as much, so they're going to be playing the hold. Ball speed is a tricky thing to vary, especially at this age. Really at all levels, It's just a skill that's kind of tough, managing ball speed and being able to do it consistently. So I don't blame them for just moving into the oil and using that instead, using their ball speed to keep it online. But that can hurt your carry percentage because your entry angle is not going to be as great. So that's why you're going to see a little less striking here in Game 5. Some players are hooking it a touch more, might be striking more, or will probably be striking more. Now that they can create those angles or just throw it where they want to throw it, where they're used to throwing it. But that would be my play. I'm still trying. I'm probably going through 13, 14, 15 around that zone, throwing it to the gutter pretty quick around, somewhere in the window between 30 and 35 feet. Visually, if I could guess where that is, that's where I'm trying to throw it. And probably still a fairly strong ball, probably an asymmetric ball. Cover is going to vary based on how well my ball is getting through the front of the lane. And with the stadium having relatively newer lanes, a fresher surface, the ball is going to get down the lane much easier than most of your common league centers that have had years and years and years of play, decades of play. Ow. All right, let's see if Caitlin can bounce back from that open frame. She washed out, a little inside out. Too much in the oil, too much angle. It's a great shot right there. It's what great players do. They bounce back from open frames and they put it in play, hit the pocket. And then if all things turn out well, they strike. Let's see if Kia can convert this 1-2. It's going to hook a little bit. That's tough. Just tells me that she's in a really tricky part of the lane where she doesn't have misroom to the left or right. So if I'm seeing that, I'm going one of two ways. You can either keep going right and hope that you can find hold using angle, or go back to the left and try to find hook to the left, because there is still a lot of friction. It is 36 feet. So we want to try to use that friction to our advantage. We love Brooklyn's. I think that's the third one in a row for her on 39. Honestly, if I keep throwing Brooklyn's, I might just stay there. Because why not? Alright. I don't mean to be biased by any means. If I'm missing some of your some people that you guys are watching, I really don't mean it. Just kind of calling what I see. Oh, there's that move left. I like the play. It's not quite getting to the friction quick enough on lane 39. There's that slot now that we were talking about earlier about when the lanes break down. There's going to be a little inside out with all the urethane balls going down the lane. Put oil pretty much in front of the head pin and a little bit to the right of that. So if you don't get it to the friction quick enough, aka get it to the right fast enough, it's not going to come off that spot enough to sometimes hit the pocket or throw a strike. The flat 10 in that zone is very prevalent, so is the 2-pin. Ooh, that's tough to do. 4-pin off the bucket. That's unlucky. It's a good spare on 37. Nice little comeback. Unfortunately, losing a good amount of count because that was on a spare. And that is for, I believe, Casey Carter. I can't see her first name. Oh, there we go. Yep, Casey Carter. I don't have the stats because Blair is busy trying to figure out her technical issue with her headphones. She has the keyboard. I do not. We get another look at Ariana. Two-handed bowler. It's a little left. Oh, have some hold. Trip the 6 out. Nice break. And that's for a double. That's huge. We love Brooklyns. Your opponents hate them, but you love them. Caitlin's playing that frozen rope line. That's what we like to say on tour. When you're just throwing it dead up the lane, it's like that ball's on a frozen rope, skating down it, really firm. And, more of the speed-dominant players are going to be playing that line. I'm not sure how Bethany finished last game, but she just threw a strike. She's got 4 marks and 1 open, so she's doing all right. No doubles, though. Ooh, nice spare on 42. Stephanie Hong, a SoCal bowler. 6'10", take that. Oh, and a 4-5 spare on 37. That's very nice as well. We're seeing all the split conversions. We love Brooklyn's. Lane 41. That one just didn't get there quick enough either. It's kind of a tricky thing on the short pattern. You know, you miss left, you could see that little inside out, and then miss the head pin to the right or 2-pin, half 10. And if it's just left of that, it might catch the middle, the flatness of the pattern, and just take off and go left. Hopefully you catch enough of the head pin to strike. And in that case, it was dead flush on the other side. All right, nice shot on 37. Let's Swisher mixing it up. Who do we have? That was a strike by McKenzie. Very nice. Oh, bird dog! Does not connect. Yo, Blair not only left, she also is hogging the names list, so I have to wait until they turn around and see who I am watching, who I am commentating on. A little left on 37, 3610. That's a tricky spare. Some would say the trickiest makeable spare on tour, or just in general. It may look like your ball is going left or right, but if you were standing in the grandstands here at the National Bowling Stadium, you would see that the ball is actually going a lot straighter than it seems from our point of view when we're on the approach. So when you throw that little cutter, or when you hook it a little bit, rotate it a little bit to try to get the ball going in the direction of the spare, and you still chop it, just know that your ball is probably going a lot straighter than it seems. Ooh, almost another Brooklyn. I'm upset for her. That should have struck. She's working that 1-2 pocket. I respect it. Keep it on the head pin. When in doubt, keep it on the head pin. That was nice. Ooh, that's a 4-bagger there on 42 for our B bowler. Nevea, I think? We try a little cha-ching for her support system in the back. We love that. You know, slap the 10 out. Little cut 10, chopper. Bang. More. Oh, no, not the high flush Brooklyn 10. That is one of my most hated hits in bowling. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, just a little kick in the stomach. There's quite a bit of hold to the left on this 36-foot pattern. I always wondered why the short pattern's first. It's almost always short to long, and almost never long to short. Miss Culp on lane 40. What she got going on? Let's see if we can rebound from his open frame. 2-5 spare. This is a tricky one as well. This is one that I always want to go away from. You know, go left to right at and not into it, but just based on how I shoot my spares, I don't really make an exception for this one. So sometimes I chop it, sometimes I don't. It's just kind of a tricky one. Nice shot over there on 43 and slap 10. They're finishing up their 10th frame here. some decent scores. There's 160, 180, 171. It's looking like 180. And then a potential 225 from the C bowler. It's not too bad. The scoring pace isn't very high. I think the field average is in the 150s. So really anything over that, you're catching up, you're picking up pins on the field. And that's really what it's all about. We're trying to beat the field. I would rather win with 140 than lose with 270. And that is a concept that many don't really grasp, I guess. Oh, nice shot on 38. Double. Always feels good to get a strike on a lane where you can get 9 on them. Oh, that's unlucky. Wrapping the wash on 41. Punch out for 196 now. I can't believe Blair's making me run the show by myself. Zoe is repping the Dodger blue. She even has the LA in the bottom right. It's a cool shirt. That one looks close. Ooh, it picked up a lot quicker than I thought it would. She's picking up spares though. I mean, one open in the 5th frame, but aside from that, she's clean. Oh, that's close for Janessa. 4-pin. She's playing a pretty good game. A little mark here, and she can punch out for 199. I don't think Caitlin likes lane 38. It's the second washout she's left in. 3 shots on that one. No spares. She's going to have to throw the back. She's going to have to throw the next 3 for 200. But she looks like she's sitting pretty okay to take home the victory on this short pattern. Not really sure what the rest of the field is doing on the girls' side. I'm pretty sure they're all right in front of us. I don't know what the standings look like either, so I could be wrong. Oh, that angle is much better on 40. It's just a very uncommon angle to play unless you're bowling on short patterns all the time. It's tough to play 7-8 and throw it at 1-2. Typically, if you're playing 7-8, your ball's hooking before the arrows. Oh, great. I think Blair's leaving. She's going to have lunch with my date. While I'm stuck doing her dirty work. Oh, wow. I thought that was going to hook a lot more than it did. Gonna need a good 10th from Miss Culp here. Save as many pins as possible for that overall. Blair, can we look at some scores? See what's going on. Let's just check out the girls' scores since they're right in front of us. Ooh, so the game 4 scoring actually came down a little bit. A little surprising there. Caitlin is going to take home the short title here in Reno. I don't think it really matters what she does the rest of the game, but I'm sure she would like to throw a double here in the 10th, secure a plus score, and move on. She gets them all. She'll get to 102 over for the block. Very solid score. And then our next highest competitor is Kira Magson, minus 29. I'm not sure where she is. I don't think she's on. Is she finishing up down there? Ah, so they're done already. I'm not sure what she finished with, or which bowler she was. A bowler. She either had 160 or 170, so she's going to back up a little bit. Sapphire was right behind her. I believe she was on the same pair. Oh, actually, no. It's only showing A and D. Oh, she was an A bowler? Sapphire was C, and Kira was A. So Kira had 161 the last game. So she's going to finish at minus 38. It's going to be close for that silver, I think. Not really sure what it's looking like. A lot of the girls are struggling this game. They're getting a little tricky, and again, I think it's because of those angles they don't commonly have to play. That it's that the lanes are calling for at the moment. We did have 212 for our E-bowler on lane 41 and 2, so that's going to be our highest game by far, I believe, for the girls. Honestly, any 200 game sounds like a good thing at the moment. They're not super high here on 39 and 40. A potential 211 game for our C-bowler. Hey, Kelly's in the chat. Kelly's going to be in Rhode Island. Well, now I want to go to Rhode Island. Trip 6 for the closeout. Janessa finishes with 178. Again, not a bad score. 170, 180 is not a bad score. But there were 3 makeables in there, so that's realistically 210. Tough go, tough go. The ratios on these patterns aren't super high, so we're not going to see a lot of really big scores. We do have the front 11 working, though, on lanes 49 and 50. I don't know who that is. He's wearing a pink shirt. Real men wear pink. I can't read his name from here either. It could, yeah, it looks like it could be a Peterson. I don't know if you cannot. It's just out of the frame, but I'm sure you'll know. You will know. Should I turn it? You have another camera? Are we going? He's setting up right now. Hurry, Blair, hurry. Here we go. This is for 300 on lane 49. I think you guys can tell that he bowled 300. You typically don't get that kind of applause for 299. Who was that again? Jostin? Dawson. I'm deaf. Well, I'm not really deaf. I just can't hear what Blair's saying because of the headset. And she has no mic, but congratulations to Dawson on his perfect game here in Block 1 of the SYC Reno 2023. Strike who? The Buckeyes won? No way. No way. All right, so an unfortunate finish for Caitlin. I'm sure she's not very happy about that, but she's got a gold medal coming her way and a fairly commanding lead in the U18 girls division. I think she's the only one that's going to go plus. Bree's going to shoot 200 right here. Again, very good score. You don't want to leave any pins out there, especially because there's an overall prize. That's why you always try your hardest. You give it your all every single shot, no matter how bleak it seems. You just never know what's going to happen in the end. And we have a 200. Is that her first 200 of the day? Based on that reaction, that's kind of what I was assuming.
I've been trying to give her a hard time. You and her played in Modesto in a no-tap. You played a tournament down there in Modesto a while back?
Was it a Pro-Am?
Yeah.
It might have been a couple years ago, yeah.
No-tap, yeah.
Well, actually, I didn't bowl that Pro-Am. I ended up showing up late. That's the only event I've bowled in. I think I was there, but I didn't make it in time for the Pro-Am. Did they have another Pro-Am last year? Maybe. It might have been. They might have been. They might have had two Pro-Ams. Yeah, take care. So I guess I bowled a Pro-Am with Bree last year in Modesto. Well, good to see. She did break the 200 barrier for her first block. It is tough out there if you're not giving the lanes what the lanes want. They don't make it very forgiving. Oh, we got a little Blue Yeti action. I have one of these at home. This is what I use for my streaming setup. That's a nice mic. Hopefully it doesn't pick up both of our... oh, it's unfortunate. There's 2 setups in my room. One is for my girlfriend, and she has a mic that picks up everything. So anytime we play video games together and I'm streaming, you're gonna hear me twice. It's terrible. I hate it. Just need to get her a better headset. She can use the headset mic. Alrighty, wrapping up round 1. SYC Reno on the short pattern, 36 feet, has proven to be quite a...
Not yet. Hold on.
Come on.
Darren?
Hello?
Take off your headset.
Not my hair.
We messed up Darren's hair. We lost our headset. We're wrapping up.
Blair lost her headset.
We're wrapping up the SYC in Reno round 1. We will be back at 2 p.m. Or 2:30. I apologize. I don't know what we're gonna do.
I'm going on my date.
Good luck.
Lunch date.
Yeah, and you're gonna be looking for a headset while you're out there.
What?
Oh yeah. But you don't know that yet, but you will be.
Well, I know now.
Yeah. We will see you guys all at 2:30. Stay tuned for a message or a reminder of all of our sponsors that I cannot find. Oh, here it is. But we'll be back. Darren will be here. We might have a headset. We might not. You never know. Who knows?
Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
This has been a live stream presentation of the 2023 SYC Reno. The 2023 SYC season would not be possible without the generous donations from our sponsors. Storm Bowling, I Am Bowling, PBA Junior, KEGEL, Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Shoes, Ray's Eyewear, Ballard's Bowling Academy, Master Industries, Quality Respite and Home Care, and by T&D Transportation. Special thanks to the official scoring system of the Storm Youth Championships, Bowl Metrics. The preceding was produced exclusively by Storm Bowling. For more information on upcoming events and more, please visit stormbowling.com. Once again, thanks for watching.